This guy suddenly gains the insane ability to travel back and forth between the real world and a post-apocalyptic world overrun by zombies. And the moment he realizes how valuable that is, he instantly comes up with a plan: get rich by looting. He quickly stuffs his bag with food, water, and basic supplies, then heads straight into the ruined world to loot everything he can. But the second he arrives, he realizes this place is absolute hell. The streets are filled with endless hordes of zombies wandering through destroyed cities, ready to tear apart anyone they spot. While desperately searching for a safe place to hide, he suddenly runs into a girl. She's starving, exhausted, and so desperate for food that she's willing to do literally anything just to survive one more day. And that's when our boy realizes something crazy. In this world, food is worth more than gold. Jewelry, diamonds, expensive watches, all the things people once killed for are now completely worthless compared to a single meal. And he can just trade all of it for food and bring the valuables back to his original world to become rich. So who exactly is this guy, and how did he get this ability? It's super rare that the protagonist in a Chinese manhwa isn't a brainlet gremlin. But Wang Bin is not only smart, he's a straight-up lady killer. That said, he's not out here chasing every hole to make it his goal. He's loyal to just one, Zhao Qian, who's considered the top beauty at their school. Our boy might look like all sunshine and roses on the surface, but he's actually dealing with a financial crisis. Even when he makes some quick cash, he always ends up spending it on his one and only girl. Oh, and did I mention he's also a pro gamer? One day, Wang Bin is sitting in front of his computer when a system notification pops up. It informs him that he completed a test in record time and gathered the most resources, which has earned him a special invitation to enter the apocalyptic world. However, the system warns him that if he dies there, he won't be able to return to his original world. After reading this, Wang realizes that as long as he survives, he can keep bringing valuable items back to his world. He thinks about it for a moment and calmly presses the yes button. The system provides more instructions, and Wang understands that he needs to gather enough supplies to last him 7 days. He only has 4 hours to do this, so he quickly opens his wallet, but there's no money inside. He mutters to himself, remembering that he overspent during his date with Zhao Qian last week. Now he needs to borrow money from his friends, Hong Fei and Li Ping. They handed it over without hesitation. However, they also told him to stop spending everything on Zhao Qian and to treat himself once in a while. After getting the money, Wang bought food and supplies that would last him for 7 days in the apocalyptic world. Meanwhile, Zhao Qian is in a car with another boy. When her phone rings, she sees it's a call from Wang. The boy in the car asks about it, but Zhao Qian dismissively replies that it's nothing important. At this moment, Wang feels confused when Zhao Qian abruptly cuts the call, but before he can dwell on it, the ground begins to shake violently. In an instant, he finds himself transported to the apocalyptic world. Looking around, he is startled to see the desolate surroundings, as if no one has set foot here for years. He mutters to himself, noting that in an apocalypse, there should be wanderers, infected human corpses that have lost all sense of self. Peering out through a shattered window, Wang spots the wanderers shambling in the distance. He reminds himself that he needs to survive here for 7 days. With enough water and food to last, he decides it's time to explore the environment and learn more about this world. Pulling out a shovel, he begins examining the area, recalling survival tips he once read. He notes the importance of carrying a shovel, not just as a tool, but also as a potential weapon. As Wang moves cautiously, he plans his route, avoiding paths with too many wanderers. He reminds himself to steer clear of unnecessary fights, to avoid disturbing wanderers that seem preoccupied, and to use their sensitivity to sound as a way to distract them when needed. While navigating the crumbling streets, he suddenly feels someone might be behind him. Trying to stay calm, he opens his phone's camera and uses it to glance behind him discreetly. To his shock, he catches a glimpse of someone quickly ducking behind a wall. Wang considers the possibility that the figure behind him might be an intelligent type of wanderer, but he quickly realizes it could also be a human. He recalls that humans in this apocalyptic world can be more terrifying than the wanderers. Fearing for his safety, he begins running to find a place to hide. As he runs, he wonders if these humans have traveled through time like him, but he quickly comes to the grim conclusion that their goal is to kill him and steal his supplies. Just as panic starts to set in, he spots a house nearby. Without wasting time, he leaps inside to take shelter. However, as he catches his breath, he notices someone entering the house. His instincts tell him that this person is dangerous, a leviathan. The figure turns out to be a girl, who immediately points a dagger at him and demands that he hand over all his food and useful supplies. She warns him that if he doesn't comply, she'll kill him. Wang, trying to stay calm, responds that she's got the wrong person and insists he doesn't have anything. Wang thinks quickly and realizes that if he gives her the bag, he won't have enough food to survive the 7 days. He gathers his confidence, ready to act. When she moves to attack, Wang swings his shovel to block her dagger. She jumps back quickly, surprised by his response. Wang, now more determined, angrily says that she started this by trying to steal his food. He attempts to strike back, but before he can, she delivers a powerful kick that sends him flying into the wall. As Wang struggles to regain his foot, she approaches him, pressing the dagger to his neck. She warns him that if he makes another move, she'll slit his throat. Wang, panicked, begs her not to do it. He quickly adds that there are canned meats and dry food in his bag, enough for both of them to share if they work together. At the mention of canned meat, Wang notices her mouth begin to water. He realizes she's starting to lose control. Seizing the opportunity, he draws his own weapon, and just as she demands he put down the bag again, he strikes first. The girl screams in pain and falls to the ground. Wang stands over her, assessing the situation. She doesn't seem as dangerous as he thought, so he sets some food in front of her. In exchange, he asks to borrow her dagger for a while. As Wang walks away, she feels a sense of relief knowing that she now has dinner. Meanwhile, as he steps outside, his thoughts turn grim. In this post-apocalyptic world, he realizes that people are far more terrifying than the Wanderers. Suddenly, 3 men block his path, demanding he hand over everything he has if he wants to avoid being killed. Wang quickly figures that they must have heard the noise he made earlier with the girl. Before he can react, one of the men, a large figure, lunges at him with a stick. Wang parries the attack with his shovel, narrowly avoiding a direct hit. His heart races as he realizes how dangerous the situation is. There are 3 of them, closing in from all sides, and his stun gun won't be enough to take them all down. The other 2 men taunt him, commenting that he looks yummy and that they'll eat him. In a split second, Wang takes the opportunity to strike one of them, slashing his arm. Blood spills to the ground and the men freeze in shock. They quickly order one of their companions to stop the bleeding, fearing the scent of blood will attract wanderers. Seeing his chance, Wang starts running as fast as he can. As he escapes, he realizes that surviving in this chaotic world is more thrilling than he ever imagined. As Wang runs down the street, he reaches a dead end. He turns around to find the 3 men catching up with him. The injured man growls that he wants revenge for the wound Wang gave him, claiming that Wang's hand is now his. The leader of the group steps forward, demanding to know how Wang dared to hurt someone from their Tiger Head gang. As they approach him, Wang notices the girl watching from the rooftop of a nearby building. The girl silently descends behind the men, and Wang instantly recognizes her. She gestures for him to stay quiet and not reveal her presence. Just as the men prepare to attack, the girl strikes first, throwing a brick at one of the guys' heads. The man falls, stunned. The others look back, shocked, but before they can react, the girl leaps onto the boss from above, landing a powerful kick to his head. She's surprised by his tough body, but she doesn't hesitate. She then orders Wang to return her dagger, and he quickly agrees, thinking it's better to be killed by her than by the men who want to eat him. Just as the boss lunges at the girl, she spots a weak point on his neck and strikes, cutting it deeply. Blood pours from the wound. Wang stands frozen, stunned by what he's just witnessed, as this is the first time he's ever seen someone kill another person. As the other men quickly flee, Wang urges the girl to chase after them, worried they'll return with more enemies. But before he can move, she grabs him by the collar and tells him it's not the time for that. She explains that the noise they made, along with the blood, will soon attract a large group of wanderers. With that, she grabs his hand and pulls him along, urging him to follow her. Wang begins to think that she might actually be a good person. He realizes that if he doesn't make an enemy of her, she could become a powerful ally in this post-apocalyptic world. They soon reach a safe spot, and as Wang looks out the window, he sees groups of wanderers moving outside. He feels a sense of relief, thinking that his high school running days have paid off. After being dragged around for an hour, he's glad he was able to keep up. When Wang thanks the girl for her help, she suddenly puts the dagger back to his neck. Startled, he asks if they're not on the same side. She responds by ordering him to drop his stun gun. Wang, feeling confused, tries to remain calm and says that they need to talk this out. Wang places the stun gun on the floor, and the girl quickly kicks it away. He then asks her to trust him, offering to give her more delicious food if they get along peacefully. He pulls out some of the food from his backpack and explains that if she lets him stay for 7 days, he'll give her all of it. The sight of the food makes her mouth water again, and Wang points out that this is only half of what he has, and he can't possibly eat it all by himself. She comments, looking at the food with delight, that it's all luxury items and asks where he got them. Wang replies that he can't tell her just yet, but urges her to trust him. She thinks back to when he spared her earlier, and even left behind valuable food and water. Realizing this isn't something any ordinary person would do, she finally agrees. She tells him that if he doesn't want to talk about it, she won't force him, but they'll have to get along for now. She then shows him to a room and warns him not to enter without her permission. Afterward, she directs him to another room, and Wang reassures her that she doesn't need to worry about him. Wang suggests that now that they've agreed to get along, they should introduce themselves. He tells her his name and she simply responds, Guan Xiaoyue, before heading to her room. After she leaves, Wang enters his own room, feeling a sense of relief. He thinks to himself that this post-apocalyptic world is exhilarating, but now he can finally settle down. He notes that all the windows are sealed by Guan Xiaoyue, and the environment seems safe enough. As he looks around, he observes that the place must have once belonged to a wealthy family, judging by the interior decor. He starts to check the room. When he opens a drawer, it's empty. The wardrobe only contains a few tattered clothes, which he figures makes sense since the place has likely been searched by others. But when he opens another drawer, he's surprised to find it filled with jewelry, a necklace, and other pieces. He remarks that if the necklace is real, it could be worth hundreds of thousands in his world. The other jewelry could make a fortune for him as well. Wang feels excited at the thought of getting rich. He imagines that once he has enough money, he'll be able to propose to Zhao. However, he also realizes that the jewelry belongs to Guan, so he decides he should ask her first. With that in mind, he heads to Guan's room, eager to ask her about the gemstones he found. But when he enters, he is startled to see her changing clothes. Embarrassed, he quickly apologizes and leaves, leaving Guan confused about his sudden behavior. As Wang walks away, he realizes it was inappropriate to just walk in without warning. When Guan asks what he wanted, he explains that he was hoping to ask if she would sell him the jewelry from the room. She steps out, casually telling him that he can take them if he wants, since no one else wants them. While eating chips, Guan casually mentions that this used to be a wealthy neighborhood, and many of the houses here have a lot of jewelry. She then asks Wang why he wants these items, as they can't be eaten or traded. Wang replies that these things are very useful to him. She shrugs and tells him she'll take him around to look for more once she's finished eating. Afterward, they find more jewelry, and Wang can't help but think how rich he's going to be. He estimates that everything here combined must be worth millions. He asks Guan again if she's sure she doesn't want any of it. She confirms, adding that since they're here, she remembers a room with a huge safe. Wang's curiosity piques, and he eagerly asks her to show him. When they arrive, she explains that the safe has a lock and that she had tried many times to open it, but failed. Wang examines it and comments that most valuable safes are connected to alarm systems. If there were power, multiple failed attempts would trigger an alert to the police. But since the power is out, they have all the time they need to try as many times as they want. He starts entering the password, but the safe doesn't open. Guan tells him to keep trying while she goes off to check if there's anything else around. As Guan leaves, Wang enters another password into the safe, and to his surprise, it opens. Inside, he finds numerous gold bars, jewelry boxes, and other valuables. He grins and says he'll take all of it, except for the money, as it won't be useful in his world. After gathering everything, they head back home. While Wang examines the items, Guan, still eating, comments that he's been staring at those useless things ever since he returned. Wang explains that he has a way to make them valuable and trade them for more of the delicious food she's holding. Surprised, she asks if she brings him more of these things. Will he give her even more food? Wang nods and then asks his system where he will reappear when his 7 days are up, and he returns to his world. The system tells him that he'll reappear within 100 meters of where he last left. Reassured, Wang tells Guan that as she keeps collecting gold and gems for him, he'll continue to bring her all sorts of tasty treats. Guan smiles, clearly pleased with the arrangement. She tells him that the city's food supplies are almost gone, so what people eat now is mostly dried rats and other scraps. She says treats like the ones Wang has are real luxuries here, something that would drive anyone crazy with hunger. Wang asks why she hasn't grown her own food or built strong defenses. She explains that after years of struggle, the government has set up a few human settlements with tall walls and heavy guards, making it impossible for wanderers to get in. These places are where every survivor dreams of going, but only a few actually make it inside. She says the government is working hard to find a cure for the virus while trying to make these settlements self-sufficient. With a leader who has total military control, such settlements are possible. But unlike here, where everyone fights for themselves, in those places people work together, something almost unheard of in the outside world. Still, even in those settlements, the food supply is just barely enough to survive. Getting back to the way life used to be is completely out of reach. She asks if he can trade those useless jewels for valuable food. Wang lies and says he's a merchant from a distant place, and his job is to collect gold and jewelry to trade with the surviving upper class. She then offers to take him out during the day to gather more, warning that he shouldn't go out alone at night because she's set up many traps around the area. Just as she finishes speaking, they hear a noise outside. She quickly says someone just stepped on one of her traps. She peeks outside through the window and spots members of the Tigerhead gang. Wang remarks that he didn't expect letting one person go would cause such a big problem. She tells him they need to leave quickly. Outside, a senior member named Chen calls another man, Cyclops, and asks if he's sure the girl is here. Cyclops confirms, saying he's seen her hanging around the area before. Chen orders his men to find her fast, insisting he wants her alive. Wang and Guan hide behind the walls, and Wang quietly asks her what they should do now. She replies that she'll take him to another safe place. They make their way to another building, where Wang sees several wanderers crawling on the first floor while they're safely on the upper level. Wang comments that the noise from the wanderers will keep him from sleeping here. Guan explains that the stairs leading to the second floor have collapsed, so as long as they stay quiet, the wanderers can't reach them. Wang pulls out his phone to play, and Guan is shocked to see that his phone still has battery. She asks sweetly if he has music on his phone. Wang gently puts the earphones in her ears and plays a song. Seeing her cute and soft expression, he thinks she's so different from the fierce fighter she was before. Now she's just a normal girl again. They sit together, and as the gentle music plays, tears well up in her eyes. Memories of happy times with her parents flood her mind. She hands the earphones back to Wang and comments that if they keep listening, his phone battery will die fast. Wang asks why she's crying. She explains it's been a long time since she heard music like this, and the song brings back memories of her parents. Then Wang puts the earphones back on her and says they should finish the song together. He also promises to bring her another phone and some power banks next time, which makes her smile. Looking at her face, Wang thinks she's really cute, but he quickly reminds himself to stay focused as he already has a girlfriend, Zhao, and he can't think about anyone else. By morning, Wang and Guan are still peacefully asleep, with the soft music still playing. When they wake up, Guan begins to explain some important details about the city. She pulls out a map and points to the Western District, telling him that the Tiger Head Gang controls this area. She adds that the 3 men who surrounded Wang last night were from the Tiger Head Gang, which is the most powerful gang in this part of the city. Guan explains that if there hadn't been so many wanderers around at the time, the gang wouldn't have let even one person escape with information. She goes on to mention that the leader of the Tiger Head Gang is a man named Hu, who commands over 60 men and has more than 10 firearms. Their base is in the Rainbow Elite Tower, the tallest building on the west side of the city. The tower is well maintained and even has a large supermarket inside. Wang comments that with over 60 men and firearms, seeking revenge on them seems impossible. Guan agrees but points out that there are 3 other gangs in the city as well. She tells him that the Shark Gang, which controls the eastern part of the city, is the most powerful. Its leader, Xing, has more than 100 men and over 20 firearms. Guan continues, explaining that the next is Grizzly Gang, who controls the northern side of the city. Led by Xiong, they have nearly 100 members and over a dozen firearms. The weakest gang, she says, is the Eagle Gang in the south, led by Fei. They have just over 40 men and 7 firearms, but they've managed to get their hands on explosives and grenades, which is why no one dares to mess with them. She tells Wang that, aside from the 4 major gangs, there are smaller groups made up of 3 to 5 people, as well as individuals who live alone, like herself. Currently, there are less than 1,000 people in the city. She adds that the city's original population of 2 million has been reduced to wanderers, with some fleeing to other places. Wang comments that it truly feels like a post-apocalyptic world and asks where the city's vault is. Guan says she hasn't paid much attention to it. When the apocalypse first hit, the banks were looted and valuables were stolen, so now most of them are useless. However, she adds that if there is still a place with gold, it would likely be in the building occupied by the Shark Gang in the east. This building used to house the city's largest bank, and armored vehicles once transported money there for safekeeping. She warns Wang to forget about trying to take any gold from them, to which he assures her that he understands. Over the next few days, Guan and Wang stay hidden in the house without leaving. Occasionally, they notice people passing by downstairs who seem to be from the Tiger Head Gang, but because the building is full of wanderers, those gang members don't dare come close. Now it's the day Wang must return to his world. He packs his backpack and gently tells Guan that he's decided to leave all the food and drinks for her. She is surprised and asks how he plans to survive if he gives her all the food. He reassures her, saying he will be gone for 7 days and that she must take good care of herself while he's away. He also promises that after 7 days, he will come back here to find her. Hearing this, Guan hugs him cutely and asks him to take her with him. Wang apologizes, explaining that he has to leave for 7 days and can't bring her along, but he promises he'll return and bring more food and useful things for her. She agrees, and after that, as Wang stands in his room waiting for the time to teleport back to his world, he thinks that he shouldn't have told anyone where he would return. However, after spending these few days together, he feels he can trust Guan, believing she is a very reliable person. He also realizes that it was he who dragged her into this situation, making her a target of the Tiger Head Gang. Once he returns to his world and sells the jewelry and gold bars, he plans to bring her something nice as a way to repay her. As Wang thinks about this, Guan sits sadly outside his room. Suddenly, the time arrives for him to return to his original world. When Guan opens the door to check on him, she feels even sadder to find that Wang has already disappeared. Meanwhile, in Wang's world, a girl and a boy are sharing a romantic moment under a tree. Suddenly, Wang appears, teleporting into the grass. He feels relieved to be back. Apologizing for interrupting, he takes a deep breath of the fresh air and says that compared to the post-apocalyptic world, this place feels like heaven. He adds that since his backpack is now full of jewels and gold, he needs to quickly share the good news with Zhao. He calls her and asks to see her. Jay replies that she's currently looking at houses with his family, but will contact him later. Wang asks which property she's interested in, saying he'll come there. At that moment, Zhao's boyfriend approaches her and tells her to be honest with Wang, so he will immediately pay for the new house. Zhao then tells Wang to come to the sales office at Jinbi Lucheng. Wang feels excited, ends the call, and says to himself that he'll sell the jewelry and gold first, then surprise Zhao with a villa. Then Wang goes to the jewelry store and finds a receptionist standing at the counter. He asks her about the manager, wanting to discuss something with him. The girl, however, responds with some attitude, saying that the manager is busy and he'll have to talk to her instead. Wang calmly tells her that she's not the one who makes decisions here. Annoyed, she orders him to leave and stop disturbing their business. Wang then shows her the gemstone. She inspects it briefly, but since she doesn't recognize its quality, she rudely remarks that she'll call security to report the fake. Just as she's about to continue, the manager arrives. He introduces himself and asks if he can take a look at the gemstone's quality. When Wang shows it to him, the manager is visibly surprised by its purity. The receptionist then mentions that Wang is a troublemaker, but the manager, named Zhang, orders her to go make tea for the gentleman. Zhang takes Wang into the VIP room to discuss further. While Wang drinks a cola, Zhang continues to examine the gemstone. Wang tells him that if the price Zhang offers is too low, he'll go elsewhere. But if the offer is fair, he'll sell it to him. Zhang starts to sweat, realizing he's dealing with something valuable. Wang starts to feel a bit nervous as Zhang takes his time to make an offer. Suddenly, Zhang breaks the silence, offering 8 million for the gemstone. Wang tries to mask his disappointment, pretending not to agree. Zhang, thinking that Wang might leave if he doesn't raise the price, quickly adds an extra 500,000, explaining that the price accounts for design fees, processing costs, labor, and taxes. Wang, on the inside, is thrilled. After sipping his tea, he agrees to the deal, mentioning that if it weren't for his family's financial struggles, he'd never have considered selling the gem. He then tells Zhang that he has 9 more gemstones to sell and asks if he's interested in buying them. Zhang is stunned and quickly agrees to buy the additional gems. After the sale, Wang leaves the store, and both Zhang and the receptionist bid him farewell. Zhang tells the girl that she nearly caused the company a huge loss. The girl apologizes and Zhang orders her to take extra care of Wang when he returns. Meanwhile, Wang sits in the taxi, checking his account on his phone. His balance now shows 64 million. He reflects on how just yesterday he had nothing, and now, out of nowhere, he's suddenly made a fortune. Wang thinks to himself that there are still some gold bars in his bag, but he'll need to find another shop to sell them. He doesn't want to seem suspicious by selling everything at one place. He then asks the driver to take him to Jinbi Lucheng. Once he arrives, Wang comments that even though he now has tens of millions in his account, he still feels a bit nervous. This is his first time attending a sales event for such high-end properties, something he could never have dreamed of before. But now things are different. He's planning to buy villas for his parents in Zhao. As he reflects on this, his phone suddenly rings. It's Zhao, but Wang gets surprised when he sees another boy named Li standing next to her. Wang asks about him and Zhao seems nervous. Li then chimes in, asking Zhao how she could choose a boyfriend who dresses like a beggar. As Wang stands there, everyone around them starts to focus on the scene, making comments about his appearance. Some remark that he looks like a construction worker, based on his outfit. Zhao then turns to Wang and tells him, without hesitation, that they need to break up. She explains that with graduation approaching and the reality of facing society, she has found someone who can take care of her, someone willing to buy a house for her. Wang tries to reason with her, telling her that he can take care of her too. He asks if this new guy is forcing her to say these things. Li, who is standing beside Zhao, speaks up angrily, warning Wang not to point a finger at him again or he'll cut it off. Wang, equally upset, glares back. Zhao intervenes, ordering Wang to leave immediately. Then Li taunts Wang, asking him what he plans to do now, claiming that he's already touched every part of Zhao's body. Hearing this, Wang kicks Li hard in the chest, which causes him to fall back. Zhao grabs Wang's hand, trying to stop him, but Wang, filled with anger, responds that no one can stop him now. In response, Zhao slaps him hard across the face and firmly declares that their relationship is over. She tells him she would never be with someone as disgusting as him, a stinking beggar. She then turns to Li, asking if he's alright. At this moment, Wang realizes that a house, something material, has triumphed over the years of their relationship. As this realization sinks in, 2 security guards approach. The manager girl tells them to get rid of Wang, but the sales director arrives just in time. He calmly orders Wang to leave, warning that if they force him out, it could lead to serious consequences. Wang asks if this is how they treat their guests. The girl asks what kind of guest he is, as the cheapest suite in the place costs 5 to 6 million. While she's speaking, the sales director steps forward, reprimanding the girl for not handling the situation. He tells her that if she can't manage a guest like Wang, she doesn't belong on his team. Wang then tells the sales director that he came here to buy property, but with such terrible service from his staff and security, he's no longer interested. The sales director apologizes but comments that Wang is causing trouble and even injuring their clients. He warns that if Wang isn't actually a client, they may have to call the police. Wang repeats that he was genuinely interested in buying their property, but now he feels their standards are too low, and he's lost interest. The sales director and the girl are both taken aback by his words. As Wang begins to walk away, he wishes Zhao good luck in her life. The sales director quickly stops him and asks what his budget is for a house. Wang responds that he's only looking for a villa worth over 20 million. The girl is shocked, but the sales director reassures him that they can meet his request. He mentions a newly built villa by Emerald Lake, starting at just 20 million, and offers to take Wang to see it. However, he asks Wang for proof that he is capable of purchasing such a property. Wang agrees, but with a smirk, adds that if he provides the proof, the 2 guards and the girl will need to kneel and crawl 3 times around the sales hall. The sales director agrees to the terms. At this moment, Zhao tells her boyfriend Li to stay out of it, but Li isn't having it. He pushes Zhao aside and charges at Wang, aiming to punch him. Just as Li gets close, Wang pulls out a gold bar and strikes him across the face. Li stumbles back, blood beginning to trickle from his wound. Everyone around them is stunned, staring in shock at the gold bar Wang is holding. Wang calls Zhao and tells her that if she ends up with someone who doesn't value her, it's clear she doesn't deserve him. He bids her farewell and walks away. The girl, watching the scene unfold, angrily mutters that Wang has just knocked out her major client. Meanwhile, the salesman is still in awe of the gold bar. Wang then pulls up one of his bank accounts on his phone, showing a balance of 70 million. The salesman is completely stunned. He immediately apologizes to Wang for his earlier behavior and declares that Wang will be his most esteemed guest from now on. He then orders the girl and the 2 security guards to kneel and crawl around the hall, warning them that if they don't, they'll be fired. Shocked, the 3 of them reluctantly agree to comply. The crowd begins snapping pictures of Wang, and the salesman asks if Wang is now satisfied with how the situation was handled. Wang doesn't seem entirely pleased, so the salesman orders the girl and security guards to do an additional 100 laps around the hall. Later, Wang relaxes in a bath, reflecting on his recent purchase of a luxury villa worth 30 million. He didn't buy it out of spite. He needed a safe, private place. He tells himself that when he returns, he must be even better prepared, as there's still more wealth waiting for him. Meanwhile, at the university campus, Wang's 2 friends, Hongge and Ping, try calling him to discuss how Zhao has betrayed him, but Wang isn't answering. Suddenly, one of them receives a message saying he's received 1 million, and he comments that it's just another scam. The second friend also receives the same message, and when he checks his bank account, he's shocked to find that the 1 million is actually there. As they're both trying to make sense of the situation, they get a call from Wang, who's sitting in a taxi. They ask him why he didn't come to them after everything that happened, and Wang replies that he's out right now, getting ready to head home. His friends urge him to lay low for a while, warning that Li has a lot of influence and isn't someone to mess with. But Wang quickly changes the subject and asks if they've received the money. His friends are surprised and ask if the transaction was from Wang. He confirms and tells them that he won the lottery, so they should accept the money since they've always helped him. When they ask how much he won, Wang casually says about 1 billion. His friends are left speechless, completely stunned by the amount. Wang's friends caution him again, saying that even though he's rich now, he should still keep a low profile. They warn that Li has powerful connections and won't back down easily. He'll likely try to get revenge. Wang, however, reassures them not to worry. He tells them he's heading home for now and promises to treat them to drinks when he returns. After some time, Wang arrives at his family home. His parents are surprised and delighted to see him after such a long absence. Over dinner, Wang casually mentions that he won the lottery and brought some money home. His parents are astonished but overjoyed by the news. However, Wang chooses not to tell them anything about the post-apocalyptic world, knowing they'd probably think he's lost his mind. As he reflects, Wang realizes that this visit isn't just to reconnect with his family, it's also to find someone. Later that night, he makes his way to another house. When the man inside opens the door and sees Wang, he looks surprised and asks why Wang has come to see him. Wang gently explains that he wants to have a chat with him, so he came back and brought a bottle of drink as a gesture. The man, Zhao, welcomes him inside. As they settle in, Wang recalls that Zhao, an older man, had a passion for hunting in his younger days. Back then, Zhao owned not just gunpowder firearms but also air guns. However, with stricter state regulations on firearms in recent years, Zhao rarely ventures into the mountains for hunting anymore. Zhao pours them some drinks and offers his help, saying that if there's anything he can assist with, he'll gladly do so. Wang expresses his gratitude and explains that he came specifically to buy Zhao's airgun. Zhao looks surprised and asks if Wang plans to do something illegal. Wang quickly reassures him, saying that he's about to graduate and has found a remote spot with his classmate where they want to practice hunting small animals. He adds that it's all for recreation, which is why he's interested in the airgun. After hearing this, Zhao nods and agrees to lend him the airgun, refusing to accept any payment for it. A moment later, Zhao returns with the airgun, advising Wang to enjoy it responsibly. Along with the airgun, he hands Wang a tranquilizer gun and a small container of tranquilizer solution. Zhao cautions him, explaining that the solution is strong enough to knock out a wild boar, and inhaling too much could be fatal. After taking the airgun from Zhao and saying goodbye to his parents, Wang heads back to the city. He prepares to enter the post-apocalyptic world once again, thinking to himself that this time, he's fully prepared. Not only has he stocked up on plenty of food, but he also bought a phone and 10 fully charged power banks for Guan. In addition to the gun, he purchased a new dagger, a machete, and even brought the detonators they used for blasting rocks back home. Wang reflects that in the modern world, one day is equivalent to 7 days in the apocalyptic world, and he wonders how Guan has been holding up over the past week. Suddenly, the system's voice interrupts his thoughts, announcing that there are living beings within 10 meters of his teleportation destination, and asking if he still wants to proceed. Wang quickly confirms that he's ready to go. As the system teleports him, Wang finds himself back in his room in the post-apocalyptic world. Meanwhile, Guan sits alone, crying as she stares at the last packet of snacks. Just then, Wang appears, and with a smile, he says that he is back. Guan's face lights up with joy as she rushes to him, hugging him tightly. She exclaims how happy she is that he managed to return. Wang chuckles and assures her that he never breaks his promises. He tells her he brought plenty of delicious food and suggests they sit down to talk while eating. As Wang hugs Guan, he notices that she's covered in injuries and asks what has happened over the past 7 days while he was gone. Guan explains that, in addition to the Tiger Head gang, several others have been looking for them, likely following orders from the gang's leader. She admits that she didn't know how Wang had left, so she spent a lot of time searching for any news about him. Wang realizes that Guan is even more concerned about him than Zhao Qian has been. Feeling a surge of protectiveness, Wang pulls Guan into a tight hug and promises her that those who hurt her will pay for what they've done. Then Wang starts showing Guan the things he brought back, and when she sees the air gun, her face lights up. She comments that, while it doesn't have the same power or range as a rifle, it can still be lethal. Wang reassures her that the air gun is quiet and highly concealable, and now it's all hers to keep. Next, he shows her the food he brought, mentioning that it's enough for both of them to last a whole month. Guan is amazed and starts eating eagerly, while Wang watches her. Noticing his gaze, she asks why he isn't eating and offers him some food. Wang then gives her a phone, telling her that he also brought over 10 fully charged power banks, so she's set for a long while. When Guan sees the phone, tears well up in her eyes as she tells him he's so kind to her. She adds that since the apocalypse and the loss of her parents, no one has treated her with the same care he has. Wang gently asks her not to cry, and reminds her that they'll still listen to music together, trying to comfort her. Wang reflects on the situation while he was away, noting that the food shortage had sparked a conflict between the Tiger Head gang and the Grizzly gang. Fortunately, the skirmish resulted in only a few casualties on both sides. He also observes that some people are preparing to evacuate the area in search of government shelters, thinking this might be the perfect opportunity to make his next move. Later, Wang and Guan stand on the rooftop where Guan practices with the airgun, shooting at a large poster. Watching her impressive aim, Wang asks if she's sure she's never handled a gun before, commenting on her natural talent. Guan smiles and remarks that while the airgun's power and range are somewhat limited, it's still capable of killing someone from over 50 meters away. Wang reassures her, advising that she only needs to get closer when shooting since the gun is quiet and difficult to detect. Guan then asks if he truly believes they can take down both the Tiger Head gang and the Shard gang. Wang responds confidently, saying that tonight's plan is just to cause some chaos, not to engage in a full confrontation. He adds that gold is heavy and unlikely to have been moved, so there's a strong chance it's still stored in the bank vault. Wang explains that if they want to get into the bank building, they need to drag the Shard gang into the situation as well. The best approach, he says, is to take down all 4 gangs at once, creating chaos among them. That way, it will be easier for him to figure out where the gold is hidden. Guan asks how they can make the gangs descend into chaos. Wang tells her that they need to plant seeds of suspicion between the gangs, leading to outright hatred. He adds that the detonators he brought will play a crucial role in this plan. Right now, only the Grizzly gang has explosives and grenades, so by using the detonators, they can make Brother Hu believe that the Grizzly gang is the one responsible for attacking them. Guan praises Wang for his plan, but Wang points out that with so many people involved, they'll likely have sentries posted at night, making it difficult to sneak in. Wen reassures him, saying there's no need to worry. She explains that without electricity at night, the guards usually go to sleep around 8 or 9 o'clock. She also mentions that she's very familiar with the Rainbow Elite Tower, noting that it has many entrances and exits that the guards can't possibly cover all at once. Wang feels relieved, realizing that this makes their mission much easier. He tells her to get ready, as they'll be heading out tonight. Later that night, the two of them enter the building through a secret route. Wang is surprised to see that the place is practically unguarded, just as Guan had said. As they move forward, Wang and Guan notice a boy sleeping in a chair. Wang whispers that they don't need to wake him, and that their target is the 5th floor. He explains that the guards on the 1st floor are too relaxed, which suggests that the valuables are hidden on the higher floors. He believes the 4th floor is where the core members and elites of the gang are staying, while the leader likely resides on the 5th floor. That's also probably where they're storing their supplies. Wang decides that they'll target the 5th floor, locate the supplies, and blow them up. The two of them proceed upward quietly. When they reach the 5th floor, they overhear 2 men talking. One of them mentions that food is becoming increasingly scarce, to which the other replies that they'll probably only last another month. He wonders aloud if they can take down the Grizzly gang, but the first man responds that they have no choice but to do so, or else they'll starve to death. The second man expresses concern, saying that the Grizzly Gang has explosives and grenades, making it difficult to defeat them. He suggests they evacuate with the food as soon as possible. Just as they're talking, one of them whispers to the other to keep it down, as Brother Hu is sleeping inside. Wang realizes that Hu is in that room. As the two men leave, Wang and Guan move closer to the room. Hearing the sound of snoring, Wang whispers that Brother Hu is inside. He looks at the locked room nearby and comments that it's probably where Hu keeps the supplies. Guan then brings up the conversation they overheard, mentioning that it's only a matter of time before the Tiger Head Gang and the Grizzly Gang clash. She asks if they still need to stir things up. Wang hesitates, explaining that it's hard to explain right now, but he'll be leaving in 7 days. The Tiger Head Gang has enough supplies for another month, so their time is limited. He says they can't wait any longer and must act to make the two gangs fight each other. Guan agrees with him. Noticing the lock on the door, Wang feels frustrated. However, Guan reassures him, and pulling out a small wire, she adds that she'll take care of it. Wang is surprised by her skill. Meanwhile, the window where Wang and Guan entered opens, and the wanderers begin to sneak inside. Hearing the noise, the guy sleeping in the chair wakes up, shocked. The other gang members hear the commotion and realize something is happening on the second floor, so they rush to check. At the same time, Wang and Guan successfully unlock the door and find the supplies the Tiger Head Gang has been storing. Wang tells Guan they need to quickly set the explosives and get out. Suddenly, they hear the gang members shouting outside that the wanderers have broken in. Wang warns Guan that the gang is now on high alert, so they have to move fast. Meanwhile, some men go to wake Hu up. When they knock on his door, Hu angrily bursts out and punches one of them in the face, saying he already told them not to wake him while he's sleeping. But when they tell him the wanderers have broken into the building, Hu is shocked and rushes to the storeroom. Inside, he sees liquor spilled on the floor and dynamite scattered around. He's stunned, and then suddenly an explosion blasts through the room, knocking them back. Hu angrily shouts that the Grizzly Gang used dynamite to blow up his supplies. At that moment, Wang and Guan are escaping through pipes in the ceiling. Seeing the chaos below, Wang thinks their plan is working perfectly. Now they just have to wait for the Tiger Head Gang and the Grizzly Gang to start fighting. After that, they will find a way to turn the Shark Gang and Eagle Gang against each other. When Guan climbs down from the pipe, she quietly tells Wang it's safe to come down. There are no guards nearby. But then she notices more wanderers entering through the door. She pulls out her gun and starts shooting, but seeing how many there are, she quickly starts to run back. Suddenly, a man from the Tiger Head Gang steps in front of Guan. Recognizing her as the girl they've been searching for, he realizes that she is behind the explosion, not the Grizzly Gang. Without hesitation, Guan shoots him in the head. She quickly worries there may be more Tiger Head Gang members ahead, and from behind, a crowd of wanderers is closing in. Just as a wanderer is about to attack, Wang steps in front of her. With a swift motion, he uses a shovel to slice the wanderer into pieces. He then hands her a new dagger, telling her that in situations like this, these kinds of weapons are much more reliable. Wang comments that while he's taken down many wanderers in games, this is his first time facing such a real danger. He adds that once they make it out alive, they'll be comrades who fought through life and death together. With renewed courage, they charge at the approaching wanderers, determined to fight side by side and make it out of there. After they get back home, Wang feels relieved and says it's lucky not many wanderers got inside, or they would have been in serious trouble. Guan, clearly hungry, suddenly sees a big spread of food Wang puts in front of her. He tells her that to celebrate their successful mission, she can eat whatever she wants tonight. She starts eating quickly, surprising Wang. When he opens a beer, Guan looks at him with a childish expression and asks if she can try some. Wang laughs and refuses, saying little girls should stick to juice or soda, not beer. Then he tells her he's going to clean up and change his clothes. As Wang leaves, Guan quietly picks up the beer can, curious to taste it. Meanwhile, Wang is in his room. Looking at his phone, he asks his system to show the notification it gave him during the fight with the Wanderers. On the screen, he sees the personal attributes page, showing his various stats. The system explains that these attribute values are based on the standards of the post-apocalyptic world, where survivors have physical abilities far beyond those from Wang's original world. The system explains to Wang that by using the gold he's accumulated to upgrade it, he can grow significantly stronger. It also mentions that the system's second upgrade will unlock a lottery feature, offering prizes such as food, weapons, attribute enhancements, and various skills. Intrigued, Wang asks how much gold is needed for the first upgrade. The system responds that it requires 1,000 kilograms of gold and will unlock a 50 cubic meter storage space, accessible anytime and anywhere. Wang frowns, feeling disheartened by the steep cost. However, the system reassures him that the upgrade is an excellent deal. It adds that if he's fortunate enough to win a skill book during the upgrade process, he can acquire new abilities that will drastically improve his chances of survival. The system adds that Wang can also improve his skills by defeating Wanderers, and importantly, the skills and attributes he gains can be used in his own world too. Wang thinks it over and asks if there are any side effects. The system reassures him that there are none. Wang closes the system and heads out of his room, only to be surprised to find Guan has finished all his beer and fallen asleep. He gently picks her up and carries her to her room. Looking at her, he thinks she's really cute, even cuter than Zhao Qian. Suddenly, he snaps out of it and quickly leaves the room. Behind him, Guan wakes up and feels a bit disappointed that Wang didn't do anything and just left. The next morning, Wang and Guan head toward the East City. As they walk through the streets, Guan suddenly stops and sniffs the air. Amazed, she says she smells someone cooking meat nearby. Wang confirms it, but then he sees her start running toward the smell. He quickly stops her, warning that it might be a trap. Meanwhile, a man named Chen stands with his men nearby. He also smells the meat and orders his group to follow him. From a rooftop, Wang and Guan watch them. Wang says Chen looks familiar, and Guan confirms it's the same Chen who used to be with the Tiger Head Gang, but recently joined the Shark Gang because he knew the Tiger Head Gang's supplies were running low. Suddenly, a girl's voice calls out from a nearby building. She orders Chen to stop or she'll shoot. Chen recognizes her as Miao and asks why she's there. He says he came because he heard she recently caught a wild boar, and they want to try some. At this moment, Guan informs Wang that the woman, Miao, was a police officer before the apocalypse. After the world fell apart, she turned this building into her base. Her team includes an older police officer named Cheng Ping, who seems to be her mentor. Besides them, there are 5 or 6 non-combatants, mostly children and women. When Wang asks why Miao hasn't left this place, Guan explains that Cheng Ping has a severe foot injury, which has forced Miao to stay behind to care for him. Wang remarks that this shows Miao is a loyal person. Guan then asks if Wang is considering helping them. He nods, saying they might need allies if they want to take down the Shark Gang. As they watch, Miao tells Chen that there are plenty of opportunities for him to hunt elsewhere. Chen, however, retorts that his group came back empty-handed, so they've decided to trouble her instead. Inside the building, Cheng Ping asks Miao if they should give some meat to Chen's group. Miao firmly rejects the idea, saying that giving in now will only encourage them to become more demanding in the future. Turning back to Chen, she declares that the wild boar was her achievement, and if he wants to take it, he'll have to fight for it. Chen says he knows Miao has 2 handguns, but he tells her to look at how many men he has. It will be impossible for her to shoot them all. Suddenly, Miao fires and takes down one of the men. Chen gets furious and orders his gang to attack. He tells the gunners to aim at the windows and provide cover while the rest of the men rush inside. As bullets shatter the windows, Miao worries because her ammo is running low. Cheng Ping tells her that more attackers are coming up the stairs, so he needs to go and stop them. Just as the gangsters push into the building, Wang tells Guan to take aim at the gunners and shoot. She quickly fires, hitting the first man. Chen is shocked to realize someone else is attacking them. Seeing the chance, Miao shoots another attacker. When a gangster aims to fire at her, Guan shoots his hand, causing his gun to drop. Seeing the situation shift, Chen orders his men to take cover, realizing someone else is sniping them. His gang scrambles into a nearby hall, and Chen, visibly irritated, questions how anyone could dare challenge the Shark Gang. Meanwhile, Miao heads down to check on Cheng Ping. She asks how things are going on his end, and he informs her that 2 men tried to break in, but he managed to take them out. Miao nods and comments that the Shark Gang's firepower is stronger than theirs, but it seems like someone else was helping them earlier. Because of this, the gang's gunners have retreated into the shadows and stopped firing. In the hall, Chen's men, growing nervous, ask him what their next move is, suggesting that surrender might be the only option. Chen, however, remains calm and confidently tells Miao that they need to approach her and talk things through. Hearing this, Miao asks if Chen wants to negotiate now. When she gives him permission to speak, Chen requests that she tell his friend to let them go, promising he will never bother her again. Cheng Ping asks Miao what they have to do with Chen. Miao responds by saying they must not let Chen know the people outside aren't on their side. She then loudly declares that the Shark Gang has already surrendered and should be left alone. Guan turns to Wang, unsure of their next move. Wang tells her he will handle Miao and instructs her to follow his orders. Assuring Miao he won't harm the Shark Gang, Wang signals Guan. But as soon as the men step out of the shadows, Wang orders Guan to shoot. She follows his command, taking the group by surprise. In the chaos, Chen grabs one of his own men as cover and begins to escape. Guan alerts Wang that Chen is getting out of her range and she can't hit him. Wang remains calm, telling her to relax and wait. He then steps forward, approaching Miao with a snack in hand. When Miao and Cheng Ping see him, they're confused by his intentions. Wang reassures them, saying there's no need to be afraid as he just wants to talk. Miao firmly tells Wang that if he's here to talk about food, he can leave. However, Wang explains that he wants to work with them and has brought some food as a gift for their first meeting. Noticing their hesitation fading, Wang adds that he's willing to eliminate the local gangs to ensure they can live in a stable environment. After a brief discussion, Cheng Ping and Miao decide to hear him out. Miao agrees to talk and invites Wang inside the building. As soon as he steps in, Miao surprises him by placing a gun to his head and ordering him to drop everything he's carrying. Wang calmly sets his bag down, explaining that he only brought food. Meow then instructs a young boy named Xiaonan to check the bag. Xiaonan eagerly opens it and is amazed to find a variety of snacks inside. Relieved by the contents, Meow softens her tone and tells Wang they need to head upstairs to continue their discussion. As they head upstairs, Chengping greets Wang warmly. Wang glances around and notices that besides Xiaonan, the boy who checked his bag, there are 3 little girls watching him with cautious, wary eyes. Smiling, Wang greets them cheerfully. Meow apologizes, explaining that the children have endured difficult experiences before she took them in, which makes them naturally distrustful of strangers. Wang notices Meow putting her gun away, which he takes as a small sign of trust. She then asks him directly about his true intentions. Wang responds plainly, stating that he wants to team up with her to take on the Shark Gang. Surprised, Meow asks if he even knows how many people are in the Shark Gang. Before she can continue, Xiaonan excitedly interjects, asking if Wang really plans to take them on. Wang smiles at the boy's amazement and turns back to Meow. He acknowledges that his plan sounds crazy, but explains that the Tiger Head Gang and the Grizzly Gang are already fighting each other. If they can provoke the Shark Gang and the Eagle Gang into doing the same, they can capitalize on the chaos. Although Meow admits his reasoning makes sense, she apologizes and declines. She explains that her priority is protecting the children, and with Chengping's injured leg, she doesn't have the resources or the energy to get involved in his plan. She adds that she just wants to quickly stock up on food and get the kids out of there as soon as possible. Wang tells her that if she's willing to help, he can bring even more food than this. At that moment, Xiaonan shows Meow the bag of snacks Wang gave them and happily points out that there's a lot of food they've never seen before. Meow looks at the food, feeling unsure. Wang notices and says he understands she's wondering where the food comes from, but assures her it's safe. He asks her to tell him if she's willing to work with him. Meow thinks to herself that if she teams up with Wang, they'll get all this food regularly. They won't have to risk going out for supplies anymore, and no one will have to worry about food again. Thinking this over, Meow asks Chengping for his opinion. Chengping assures her that he will support whatever decision she makes. Then the kids speak up, explaining that they live in constant fear, always hiding. They say it's time to take a chance and fight back. They don't want to be a burden to Meow and would be sad if she stayed behind because of them. They want to face the Shark Gang together. When Meow warns that this could cost them their lives, Xiaonan snaps that if she won't help, he will do it himself. Meow tells him to calm down but understands his anger. His parents were killed by the Shark Gang, so he's driven by revenge. Seeing Xiaonan's rude tone, Wang gently pats his head and asks him kindly how he can speak to Meow like that. Wang tells Xiaonan that every decision Meow makes is to protect the kids. If she were really scared, she would have left them long ago. He reminds Xiaonan that he's a man and should apologize for speaking rudely to her. Xiaonan agrees and quickly apologizes. Meow then asks if they really think she's someone who gets scared easily. She says she can't wait to bring the Shark Gang to justice, but she admits the reality is tough. They're outnumbered and outgunned, and can't match the gang's strength. She asks Wang what his plan is since he seems so confident. Wang explains that he orchestrated the recent fight between the Grizzly Gang and the Tiger Head Gang. He's sure the Shark Gang and the Eagle Gang will follow. All Meow has to do is support him from the sidelines, and he'll handle the weapons and supplies. Meow points out that Chengping is injured and can't move well, and the rest are just kids with no fighting skills, so she's the only one who can really help. Wang agrees and cheerfully tells Xiaonan that since he's a man, he needs to be ready. Meow then tells everyone they're moving out now. Wang takes them to Guan's home, where Guan is inspecting a gun the Shark Gang dropped. She thinks it's powerful but too loud. Using it would easily give away their position. While she's busy, the kids and Chengping enjoy the snacks. Meow asks Wang if he and Guan are the only ones brave enough to stand up to the Shark Gang. Wang says he's used to it, but now they have Meow on their side. He adds that even though it's just the 3 of them, Meow can feel confident because Guan's shooting skills are impressive. Chengping comments on how refreshing the beer is. Guan playfully admits she accidentally drank most of it, even though Wang had brought a lot. Meow asks Chengping if this is really the kind of beer they can trade for 3 bullets. Chengping confirms it. As they enjoy the taste, Wang promises to bring more beer next time. He hands a can to Meow, who is surprised by how refreshing it is. Wang also gives more snacks to the kids, making them happy. As they're busy, a loud explosion suddenly echoes from another building. Guan says it sounds like the Tiger Head Gang and the Grizzly Gang have started fighting. Wang tells Meow to see that he's not joking about his plan. Meow asks why Wang and Guan don't just run away since they have enough food to survive. Wang explains that the 4 major gangs have caused endless harm over the years, and he can no longer tolerate their cruelty. Now that he has the power, he wants to take them down. Wang also thinks Meow is very smart but keeps his real goal, finding the gold, a secret from her. Then Wang calls Xiaonan over and hands him the gun the Shark Gang left behind. Guan questions why Wang would give a kid a gun. Wang tells Guan that even though Xiaonan is young, in this world, he is a man. With this gun, he must protect his sisters. Xiaonan asks Meow if he really has to take the gun, and she confirms it. Wang then tells Xiaonan that starting tomorrow, he will train him in shooting. Meow thinks Wang is surprisingly generous to hand out guns so easily, and wonders who he really is. She then tells the kids to rest since they need to move out early the next day. After breakfast the next morning, Guan, Miao, and Wang head toward the shark gang's hideout. Since Miao knows the Eastern District well, they quickly reach a building near the gang's base. However, the shark gang's security is tighter than they expected, so their only chance is to catch them off guard. From above, the three watch the gang members below. Wang notes that only a few have firearms, most carry clubs and knives. Miao says they must take out those with guns first. As the gangsters move around, suddenly Miao shoots one man in the head. The gangsters become alert but still can't pinpoint where the shot came from. Miao and Guan start shooting at the men with guns, but Wang quickly stops them both. He says that's enough for now. They need to cause some trouble for the Eagle Gang next. Soon after, the Shark Gang boss arrives, furious about the attack. One of his workers tells him that the Grizzly Gang and the Tiger Head Gang are already at war, so it must be the Eagle Gang daring enough to strike them. The workers say they need to wipe out the Eagle Gang, but the boss stops them, sensing something is off. He says there's no way the Eagle Gang would risk starting a war with them. He suspects someone else is trying to stir up trouble between the two gangs. When a man named Biao asks what to do, the boss tells him to take some men and check if any outsiders have entered town recently. He also orders Biao to call everyone back, saying they need to strengthen their forces given the situation. As they leave, the boss thinks to himself that since the Tiger Head Gang and the Grizzly Gang are already fighting, he can use this chance to take over the Eagle Gang and then deal with the others one by one. Back at the gang hideout, the boss is playing a table game when some men suddenly rush in with bad news that a fire has broken out at a nearby post, to which the boss gets shocked. Wang and Miao gather the guns after taking down the men from the Eagle Gang. Wang thinks to himself that now everyone has a weapon. As they talk, Guan arrives holding a torch and tells Wang she's already set their outpost on fire, just like he asked. Wang replies that it's time to get out since the mission is complete. Wang reflects on how, overnight, all four gangs have been forced into action. The fight between the Tiger Head Gang and the Grizzly Gang has escalated, with neither side willing to back down. Meanwhile, tensions between the Eagle Gang and the Shark Gang are about to explode. He realizes his plan is working perfectly. He's got the four major gangs right where he wants them. They return home, and while everyone else is asleep, Wang goes up to the roof to practice shooting. He fires at beer cans, but as he misses, he feels disappointed. Just then, Miao comes up and teases him for wasting bullets like that. Wang asks what she's doing there and if he disturbed her. She smiles and says she just came up for some fresh air and asks if she can teach him how to shoot. Wang notices her dress and feels surprised, but he gladly thanks her for offering to teach him how to shoot properly. She smiles and says she should be the one thanking him because he helped her find her old self again. She takes the gun and fires. A bullet hits the can dead center, to which Wang feels amazed. She tells him she was a police officer before the apocalypse. After it happened, besides Chengping, a few others joined her to protect the people. But as food grew scarce, everyone started turning against each other. One by one, she watched them die. She began to doubt her own beliefs. The world lost its order, and she couldn't find meaning in protecting others anymore. Then she met Xiao Bao and the others. Even though she still protects them, she feels like she's lost the will to fight the evil around her. Wang says it's incredible how she manages to take care of Xiao Bao and the others, even with the four gangs being so brutal and food so rare. She explains that the gang leaders used to be petty criminals. Some she had arrested before, but in no time, they became the most powerful people in the city, gathering followers to harm others. All she could do was watch helplessly as they committed their atrocities. She says she always feels useless, but Wang reassures her she's strong and brave. He tells her that in this post-apocalyptic world, just not holding grudges is already a big deal. Not only has she kept her morals, but she's also stayed kind and taken care of Xiao Bao and the others. Compared to him, he says, she's truly remarkable. Then he asks if she's going to teach him how to shoot. She moves closer, takes his hand, and helps him aim at the cans. She tells him that once he learns the basics and trusts his instincts, he can become a sharpshooter too. She explains that he needs to focus all his attention on one spot, then line up the sight, the muzzle, and the target in a straight horizontal line. He concentrates hard, pulls the trigger, and is surprised when the bullet hits the can dead on. She tells him that with regular practice, his shooting will keep improving. Wang says that once they deal with the enemies here, they'll have to take Bao to the meeting place together. She asks if he really wants to bring them along, and he confirms, adding that after finishing some tasks, they'll leave this place as a group. She tells him to save that talk for later and focus on practicing shooting for now. While they're busy, Guan watches from a corner and feels a little jealous that Miao is getting closer to Wang. Meanwhile, the fight between the Tiger Head Gang and the Grizzly Gang grows more intense, with constant gunfire and explosions. Guan and Wang sneak into the battle zone to gather information. The Tiger Head Gang, desperate after losing their supplies, goes all out and wipes out most of the Grizzly Gang, but they suffer heavy losses too. Only about a dozen members survive. The loud fighting traps the Tiger Head Gang inside a building surrounded by thousands of wanderers. Hearing this, the Shark Gang, now free from the influence of the Tiger Head and Grizzly Gangs, launches a full-scale attack. Meanwhile, the Eagle Gang's undercover agent inside the Shark Gang sends important information back to the Eagle Gang. The Shark Gang headquarters now has only about a dozen guards left, making it the perfect chance to sneak in. As two men walk into the building, Wong suddenly shoots one and holds a gun to the other's back. He tells the second man to cooperate, and he won't shoot him. Guan and Miao arrive at the scene, and the man warns Wong that the food is guarded by a heavy machine gunner on the top floor, so they can't get to it. Wong says he's not here for food, he wants to know where the gold is. The man leads them to the basement warehouse and shows them the last room down the corridor. Wong asks if there are any traps, but the man replies that there's no reason to set traps when his life depends on Wang's mercy. Miao tells Wong to let the man go ahead, and Wong agrees. As the man walks forward, Wong thinks the guards are foolish because there's a staircase across the hall that leads to the upper floor, but it's only visible up close. The man will likely run up there to alert the others. When they reach the end of the corridor, Wong tells Miao to keep watch while he moves forward himself. Suddenly, they see the man start running in a different direction. The three of them chase after him, but then they stop. Something is blocking the way ahead. Wanderers have attacked the man, and as he screams for help, they kill him on the spot. Wong and the girls are shocked. Miao tells Wong that the Wanderers are blocking the vault. Wong says they need to retreat for their own safety, but Miao adds that, even though she doesn't fully understand, the gold seems very important to him. She says that if taking the gold can help them defeat the four major gangs, they can't give up now. Guan agrees, saying this is a perfect chance, and if they miss it, they might never get another. Hearing their courage, Wong feels encouraged and says they can't back down. The three of them draw their weapons and, full of determination, charge at the Wanderers. After a tough fight, they kill them all and open the vault door. Inside, they're shocked to see so much gold. Miao guesses there's about 40 tons and wonders how they'll manage to carry it all. Wong checks the gold himself, and his system congratulates him for discovering a large amount. It asks if he wants to upgrade the system. Wong quietly thinks about how much gold is here, and the system tells him there are exactly 46,250 kilograms. Wong then tells Miao and Guan they're not moving this gold. Both of them are surprised and ask why, since they've already pushed themselves so hard. Wong explains that while the gold needs to be moved, they're not the ones responsible for it. He adds that a mysterious organization is working behind the scenes, but he can't share the details yet. His job is just to find the gold and send out the coordinates. The organization will figure out how to send someone to take it from there. Guan is amazed and says that means when Wong disappeared before, that mysterious group took him away. Wong confirms it. Miao asks if he can tell her what the organization does, but Wong refuses and asks for their trust, promising he would never use or harm them. Miao smiles gently and says that after spending time with him and seeing how he acts, she does trust him now. She understands he must have a good reason for keeping things secret, so she won't push any further. Wong tells them he's about to send the location, so both girls need to go outside and keep watch for him. They step out but remind him to be quick since they're still in Shark Gang territory. Once they're outside, Wong tells his system to upgrade. The system starts processing, and the system space activates. It then tells Wong that he just needs to think about what items he wants to store, and they will automatically move into the system space. Wong feels excited and orders the system to store all the gold bars there. The system processes quickly, and in an instant, all the gold bars are stored. It also detects that 10,000 kilograms of gold needed for the upgrade is ready. A small box appears in Wong's hand. He smiles and says that with this portable space, managing things will be much easier from now on. Wong asks the system if he can upgrade again. The system confirms and says that the next upgrade requires 30,000 kilograms of gold. After that, the lottery system will unlock, allowing him to spend gold to enter the lottery. Wong thinks that's really expensive, but tells the system to go ahead with the upgrade anyway. The system starts processing again. Wong reflects that his combat skills are too weak. He often has to rely on Guan and Miao, and as a man, he can't always depend on being protected by women. He knows he has to get stronger. Just then, the system finishes the update, and Wong feels happy seeing the progress. Wong notices a machine appear in front of him. Curious, he asks if it's a lottery system. The system confirms and explains that each draw costs 100 kilograms of gold. It promises plenty of valuable prizes, saying it's worth the cost. Wong feels disappointed. He's already spent 40,000 kilograms of gold upgrading the system, and each draw still costs so much. He sighs and tells himself that to get stronger, he'll have to spend a bit more since he still has plenty of gold left. He remembers that he's always been lucky in games since he was young, so he decides to give it a try. Excited, he pulls the lever on the machine. As he watches, the machine shows the super martial art as a possible prize. Wong feels amazed. This could help him defeat the Shark Gang and the Eagle Gang. Even back in his own world, he wouldn't have to fear Lee anymore. But just as he's thinking this, the machine keeps moving and finally gives him only one attribute point. Wong feels frustrated and disappointed that after spending so much gold, all he gets is a single attribute point. Wong tells the machine to draw 10 times. He notices some empty slots in the lottery as it spins. During the draws, he gets 2 grenades, a night vision scope, a rocket launcher with 3 rockets, a pack of spicy strips, and a skill book called Shooting Specialization. Even with all these prizes, he feels disappointed because he still hasn't gotten the martial arts skill he wants. He then asks the system to open his personal attributes page to see what he's gained. Looking it over, he orders the system to explain the skill he received. The system tells him that shooting specialization is at level 1 and increases his shot accuracy by 10 points, along with some other details. Wong comments that it seems killing wanderers is the only way to level up this skill. Not satisfied, he orders the system to draw 10 more times, hoping for something better. The system starts again, and this time he gets 2 packs of spicy strips and a bottle of mineral water. But among the items, 2 stand out. A box of rifle bullets that perfectly complements his marksmanship skill, and a martial arts skill called Mighty Warrior's Palm. Seeing this, Wong feels relieved. He finally got a defensive martial arts skill, which means he can protect himself, whether in this world or his own. He checks his remaining gold, and notes he has 4,150 kilograms left in the system space, which he plans to save for emergencies. Wong thinks to himself that if he spends 1 day in his own world, 7 days will pass here. For Guan and Meow's safety, he has to drain the shark gang's strength before he leaves. Meanwhile, Meow takes a sip of cola and feels amazed. She says it's really refreshing. Seeing her happiness, Guan jokes that Meow's expression is just like it was when she first tried the cola he gave her. Meow smiles and adds that before the apocalypse, they could drink cola anytime, but now it's a rare luxury. Gen reassures her that Wong is incredible, and as long as she's with him, she won't be short on any drinks, not just cola. Looking at Meow's cute face, Guan teases her, saying she looks really happy whenever she talks about Wang. She asks if Meow likes him, which surprises Meow, who quickly denies it. As they chat, Wang arrives and tells them he's finished his task. He says it's time to leave. Meow suggests that since the shark gang is weak right now, they should set fire to the place to take advantage of the situation. But Wang rejects it, saying he has a better plan that they need to go help the Eagle Gang instead. Hearing this, both girls look confused. Wang explains that helping the Eagle Gang now is the smartest way to hit the Shark Gang hard. At the Eagle Gang's hideout, the Eagle Gang members are shooting at the Shark Gang members standing outside. A little farther away, Chen sits in a car with the Shark Gang's leader. Chen asks if it's too harsh to send their people out there to take the hit. The leader replies that those naive young members joined the gang to take the fall for the big shots like them. He adds that all the talk about gang loyalty is just a way to control them. He says they're sent to the front lines to soak up the attacks. He admits that Fei may be strong, but he's not very smart. The leader tells Chen that he's sending this group to their doom on purpose, to lure Fei into heavily guarding the main gate. Since they're few in number, the other 3 sides will be left vulnerable. He adds that his men outnumber Fei's by at least 4 to 1, and if they break through on any side, it's game over for the Eagle Gang. Meanwhile, a man walking on the other side of the building suddenly spots a large group of men trying to climb up. Alarmed, he quickly calls for backup, reporting that a big group of Shark Gang members is approaching the east wing. When Fei hears the news, he gets shocked. Fei orders his men to shoot at the attackers, and they follow his command. When one of the attackers manages to reach the roof, suddenly a bullet hits him in the head from behind. The Shark Gang members are shocked to realize a sniper is targeting them. They say it must be the same people who attacked them last time. One of the men informs the Shark Gang leader, Xing, about the sniper. Xing gets angry. When Chen asks if they should retreat, Xing angrily kicks him out of the car and orders him to hurry and find the attackers. Xing tells his men to find those snipers at any cost, and they immediately start searching. Meanwhile, Guan ducks down, realizing they've been spotted. She remembers Wang's advice to her and Meow. They must change positions after every shot so the enemy can't figure out how many of them there are. Guan quickly moves to a new location. At the same time, Fei orders his men to defend the east, west, and south wings, making sure the Shark Gang doesn't break through. Just then, someone reports good news. It seems the Shark Gang's attack has been held back, possibly because someone is helping them, to which Fei feels relieved. Meanwhile, as the 2 girls keep attacking the Shark Gang, Wang stands on the roof, thinking that the Eagle Gang has no idea he arranged for Meow and Guan to help ambush the Shark Gang. He knows that with these 2 sharpshooters, even if they don't cause major damage, they'll drive the Shark Gang crazy for a long time. Wang waits quietly for the perfect moment to strike. At the same time, some of Xing's men report that they are being sniped. They ask what to do since they can't find the sniper's location, and have already lost over 20 men. Xing, furious, orders them to keep attacking no matter what. Fei watches the scene from a hidden spot, confused about why the Shark Gang is gathering so close. He thinks that if they break in here, they'll have no escape and will have to fight hand to hand. Suddenly, Fei spots Xing arriving in a car equipped with a machine gun. Seeing Xing, Fei feels angry as Xing is the one who caused them heavy losses. Xing speaks over a loudspeaker, saying he's here to offer Fei a way out. He promises to stop the attack immediately if Fei agrees to follow his orders from now on. Fei immediately rejects Xing's offer. Xing gets angry and orders his men that whoever breaks in and brings Fei to him will be rewarded with 10 bags of flour. Hearing this, the men rush forward carrying ladders. When Fei tries to fight back, Xing opens fire with the machine gun, forcing Fei and his men to take cover behind the walls. At that moment, Chen orders his men to charge, using Xing's gunfire as cover. Suddenly, an explosion erupts on the roof of a nearby building. A rocket launcher hits Xing's car directly and everyone gets shocked. The attack comes from Wang. Seeing this, Fei and his men feel relieved, knowing someone is on their side. Fei resumes firing at the Shark Gang members, who begin to scatter and retreat. Chen helps the badly injured Xing to his feet, surprised by the Eagle Gang's firepower as they quickly retreat. Wang watches and thinks everything is going according to plan. He believes the Shark Gang won't be a threat to Guan and the others for a while, so he can return feeling more at ease. At that moment, a man tells Fei that although they lost many people, they managed to hold their ground. Fei orders him to hurry and bring his divine weapon. Wang puts the rocket launcher back into the system, feeling satisfied. Suddenly he hears Fei's voice over the loudspeaker. Fei says he doesn't know who helped them, but he thanks that person for saving their lives. He promises that if they ever face trouble, the Eagle Gang will come to their aid. Both gangs suffer heavy losses, but the Shark Gang is hit the hardest. Their numbers drop from over 100 to just 30, with more than half injured. With Xing badly hurt and the Eagle Gang needing to regroup, neither side is likely to take risky actions or cause more trouble anytime soon. Wang sits at home with Guan, Miao, Chengping and the others, all enjoying their victory. Chengping says he never expected just the three of them could cause so much damage to two gangs. He adds that if his legs weren't injured, he would have fired a few shots too. Xiaonan says he wants to join in as well, but Xiaobao teases him, saying he can't because he runs too slow. As they chat, Wang assures everyone there will be plenty of chances to defend themselves in the future. Wang then tells them that for now, the Shark Gang and Eagle Gang won't make any moves, but to be safe, they need to find a new place to settle soon. He suggests moving to the suburbs. Although there are more wanderers there, fewer people live there, so sneak attacks are less likely. He adds that he needs to make a trip back first, so the others should stay hidden for a few days. He promises to bring food when he returns, and then they can set out to find a safer home. Miao asks if he's going back to that organization. Wang confirms and says he'll be gone for 7 days to resupply. When he returns, he'll bring plenty of supplies, including fresh vegetables and meat. Wang asks everyone what they want to eat, and they each share their wishes. Wang agrees to get everything for them. They continue celebrating, and the next morning they set off for the suburbs. Wanderers are everywhere, but that's exactly why Wang chose this place, because from now on, he needs to keep hunting wanderers to upgrade his skills. For safety, Wang arms both Xiaonan and Xiaobao with guns left behind by the Shark Gang. It might seem strange to give young kids firearms, but in this post-apocalyptic world, having guns means they can protect themselves and those around them. Once inside a building, Wang places a box of 10,000 bullets in front of them and says that should be enough for everyone. He tells them that tomorrow morning he plans to clear out nearby wanderers and get some shooting practice. Xiaonan and Xiaobao will join him. Miao is surprised to see that Wang has 10,000 bullets in stock, while Guan happily says he'll join the practice too. Miao replies that her shooting is already good, so they should do something else. She also reminds them that even though Wang will only be gone for a short time, they should prepare for food shortages by picking wild vegetables in the nearby mountains tomorrow. Wang agrees and says he's been eating instant noodles for so many days that now he wants to try some wild vegetables. Guan hears this and offers to go pick them up with Miao. She thinks to herself that she had hoped to spend some quality time with Wang before he left, but now she has no choice. The next day, Wang takes Xiaonan and Xiaobao to practice shooting on the roof of a building. When Xiaonan sees the wanderers crawling nearby, he gets excited, but Xiaobao feels worried. Wang reassures her, saying they want those wanderers to gather there. Wang takes aim and shoots a wanderer in the head, then tells the kids to start practicing too. Being in the suburbs makes it easy to train, so they spend the whole day shooting. Before they know it, evening arrives. In the few days before Wang has to leave, they spend every day here hunting wanderers, using about 3,000 bullets until the area is almost completely clear. Wang notices that the kids' shooting skills are improving fast, which means more people can protect the team. His own skills get better too. At that moment, his system notifies him that both his shooting specialization and Mighty Warrior's palm skills have leveled up. When they return home, Wang and the others are astonished to see a feast laid out on the table. Guan explains that it's all thanks to Miao, who spent the entire day in the kitchen. As they marvel at the spread, Guan adds that the meal was made especially for Wang. Wang looks puzzled until Chengping chimes in, explaining that ever since Miao learned Wang was leaving, she's been eager to prepare a special farewell meal. He goes on to say that he and Guan went hunting together, dug up wild vegetables and sweet potatoes, and even knocked on doors to find seasonings. As they talk, Miao enters with more dishes. Wang thanks her warmly for the effort she put into creating such a splendid dinner. Miao smiles and tells him not to forget to thank Guan as well, since she was the one who caught all the pheasants. Wang playfully puts an arm around Guan's shoulder and praises her, saying she's amazing. He adds with a grin that there's no need for formalities between them. Guan feels a quiet sense of happiness at his words. As they sit down at the table, Xiaonan eagerly asks Miao if they can start eating. Meow nods with a smile, and the group begins their meal, sharing the moment with genuine joy and pure hearts. Afterward, Wang hands over the rocket launcher and the other weapons he had brought. Guan looks at him with concern and asks what he'll do without the extra firepower. Wang reassures her with a confident smile, saying that one gun is more than enough for him. He informs everyone that he'll be leaving tonight and entrusts the responsibility of their current hideout to them. Meow, with determination in her voice, promises they'll guard the place well. Guan, in a moment of vulnerability, sweetly asks if he'd like her to accompany him, admitting she's worried about him. Wang gently declines, explaining that she's needed here to protect the others. He promises her he'll return in 7 days, to which Guan agrees. After that, Wang heads to his room while Guan and Meow stand outside. Meow asks Guan if Wang really stays alone in his room like that, and Guan confirms it quietly. Inside his room, Wang activates his system's ability and suddenly transports back to his own world. He finds himself sitting at a cafe with his friends, Xing and Hongfei, enjoying their time together. Wang eats quickly and Xing teases him, asking why he looks like a starving ghost after just visiting his hometown. Wang laughs and says he wanted to take them to a fancy hotel, but it's been so long since he had a big meal that he settled for this place instead. He reflects that in the post-apocalyptic world, he always has to watch out for wanderers and others, and food is scarce. But here, in his own world, they can relax in the sunlight and eat whatever they want. Hongfei warns Wang to be careful because he's offended by someone named Li, who is sending people to find him. Wang tells them not to worry and asks about their plans after graduation. Xing says he'll probably work at a securities firm or something similar. Hongfei says he wants to start his own business but hasn't decided what yet. Wang asks if they're interested in gold and silver jewelry and tells them he has a way to get jewelry at a low price. He suggests they become partners and open a jewelry store together. Hongfei says that if Wang is willing to take the risk with them, they'll use the money Wang gave them before as their investment. But Wang tells him not to worry about that, he'll cover the initial costs himself, and says the money he gave them before can just be their pocket money. Xing asks if opening a jewelry store won't be expensive and if Wang has enough money for it. Wang says he plans to invest 20 million and 4,000 pounds of gold. The two friends start calculating how much that is, and when they realize it's about 800 million, they're shocked. Wang tells them to stop calculating and says he'll show them the gold later since it's currently at his villa. He takes them to his villa, and when they see the amount of gold, they're completely stunned. Hongfei grabs Wang's collar and asks if he's broken any laws. Wang laughs it off and assures them he hasn't. He tells them that for now, they need to find a shop location and get the business license sorted out first, and they'll talk about opening the store later. Both of them happily agree, and Wang tells them that as his partners, he'll give each of them a 10% share in the business. They're stunned, feeling it's too generous, but Wang brushes it off. He tells Xing, who's outgoing, that he'll handle store management and lead the sales team. Then he turns to Hongfei, who's more introverted, and assigns him internal company management while encouraging him to learn jewelry design. Both readily agree to their roles. Wang adds that once the jewelry company is running smoothly, they'll start an investment company. He asks Xing if he enjoys trading stocks and tells him he'll be in charge of that venture. He envisions the three of them working together to build a powerful business empire. Excited by the plan, Xing and Hongfei hug Wang in gratitude and enthusiasm. Just then, Wang receives a message on his phone and mentions with a smile that his orders have arrived. Outside, a truck pulls up, loaded with rice, noodles, vegetables, and fruits. Xing and Hongfei stare in disbelief, asking why Wang ordered such an excessive amount of food and if he's planning to lay low to avoid Li. Wang shakes his head and reassures them that he has a much bigger purpose for it. His friends, realizing he's determined, decide not to press further. They assure him they'll focus on managing the company matters and leave him to his plans. Wang thanks them and reminds them to meet him at the restaurant near the university gate that evening. As Wang strolls through the streets, he takes in the lively atmosphere, reflecting on how much time he has recently spent in the post-apocalyptic world. The familiar surroundings of his own world now feel strangely foreign. He muses that living in such a bleak and dangerous environment has left its mark on him, making him more introspective and sensitive to the contrasts between the two worlds. Watching people pass by, he notes how inexperienced and carefree they seem. Perhaps it's because he now sees things from a different perspective, a higher vantage point afforded by his newfound wealth and power. He acknowledges that if not for the challenges of the post-apocalyptic world, he would likely be grappling with the uncertainty of life after graduation like everyone else. In the eyes of others, he might seem like an exceptional student, but Wang knows that compared to the struggles of those who paved the way for him, his achievements are relatively modest. Still, he feels a sense of gratitude for the chance fate has given him. Determined, he vows to rise to greatness in both worlds, building a legacy that will cement his place as a powerful figure in each. As Wang walks calmly down the street, a group of tough-looking men step in front of him. They ask if he is Wang. Instantly, Wang realizes these guys were sent by Li to threaten him. He confirms that he is Wang and asks what the problem is. One of the men, Dong from the Black Tiger Gang, introduces himself. But Wang cuts him off, telling them to stop talking because he already knows Lee sent them. Dong notices Wang's calm attitude and smirks, saying Wang should be ready to get beaten. He adds that Lee's orders are to cripple one of Wang's legs. Wang calmly replies that if they have the skill, they might as well take his life too. But he points out that this place isn't good for a fight, and suggests moving somewhere more private. Dong agrees but looks puzzled at Wang's confidence. The group then moves to a quiet spot where no one can watch them. Dong says Wang has guts, but Wang warns him not to test that since he's alone, and tells them to start the fight. Dong orders his men to attack. As the men leap at him, Wang activates his Mighty Warrior's palm skill, now upgraded to level 2. He strikes one man's chest with his palm, sending him flying into the air. Dong is surprised and thinks maybe Wang is a real martial artist. The men attack with their weapons, and Wang dodges most of the blows, though he gets cut on the back. He stays focused and pushes the attackers away. Then Dong jumps into the fight. When Dong tries to slash Wang, Wang grabs the sword barehanded, shocking Dong. Seeing an opening, Wang kicks Dong between the legs, making him scream in pain. Wang then hits Dong's face with his palm, knocking him backward. Dong's men look worried. As the two men start to get scared of Wang, more guys arrive, and the two of them feel relieved. One man picks up Dong, who angrily tells Wang that he only planned to cripple one of his legs, but now he won't leave alive. Wang looks at the growing number of attackers and thinks the Mighty Warrior's palm skill is good for handling 5 or 6 guys, but this many might be too much. He decides to take a risk. When Dong orders his men to attack again, Wang pulls out a handgun from his storage and fires a shot into the air. Seeing the gun in Wang's hand, the men freeze in fear and whisper among themselves, asking Dong how Wang managed to get a firearm. Wang firmly declares that if anyone isn't afraid to die, they're welcome to step forward. Dong tries to rally his men, shouting that it's just one gun and they outnumber him. But before he can finish, Wang fires a shot into Dong's leg. Dong screams in agony, clutching his wounded leg. Wang calmly asks who's next and offers to put a hole in their body. Terrified, the men rush to hold Dong upright. When Wang points the gun at him again, Dong's tone softens immediately. He stammers that the Black Tiger Gang is now willing to be his ally. His men chime in, pleading for Wang to spare them. Tears well up in their eyes as they beg for mercy. Wang looks at them coldly and comments on their earlier plan to teach him a lesson. The men hurriedly respond that they've learned their lesson and meekly ask if they can leave. With a nod from Wang, they grab Dong, dragging him along the ground, and flee the scene as fast as they can. From behind, Wang's phone rings. It's his friend Xing who sounds worried. Xing says they heard from classmates that Wang was taken away by a group of people and asks if he's okay now. Wang reassures him that he handled it and tells him to come pick him up since there are no taxis around. Later, Wang and Xing sit in a cafe. Xing gets angry about Li sending thugs after Wang. Wang asks about how things are going and why Hongfei isn't there. Sign explains they've already registered the business, but it will take about 2 weeks to get the license. Hongfei is busy looking for a good storefront, so he didn't come along. Wang tells them not to rush the shop search and suggests using an agent. When Xing worries again about Li, Wang says he'll deal with him eventually. For now, they should focus on the business and not stress over anything else. Wang then stands up, saying he has other matters to attend to, and leaves. Watching him go, Xing thinks that he and Hongfei won't let Li keep bullying Wang like this. Wang calls Hongfei and asks if he has found Li. Hongfei replies that Li is at the bar, dancing. Meanwhile, at the bar, Li goes to the bathroom to pee, and suddenly Xing and Hongfei cover him with a blanket and start hitting him with sticks. After they finish, they throw him onto the toilet seat and quickly run away. Back at his villa, Wang looks at the many supplies he plans to take to the post-apocalyptic world. He thinks this should be enough food for everyone for a month. He even brought a cooler so they can enjoy cold soda and beer. He's sure everyone will be happy to see these things. Wang tells his system to store all the items in the storage space. The system activates teleportation and asks if he's ready. Wang pauses and wonders if teleporting so much food at once might cause it to spoil. The system reassures him that the storage space has a super preservation function, so keeping food fresh for a long time isn't a problem. Wang thinks the system is amazing and feels relieved. He gets ready to teleport. Meanwhile, in the post-apocalyptic world, everyone waits for Wang. Xiaonan says it's the 7th day, so Wang should be back soon. Chengping adds that if Wang is safe where he is, even if he doesn't return, they should still wish him well. He says they've all benefited from Wang's kindness and that no one like him exists in this world. Miao agrees. Guan tells them that the last time Wang left, she felt the same way. They doubted him and thought he might be lying, but she held on to hope, checking his room every night. Just when she was about to give up, Wang came back. So, they need to wait a little longer because she believes Wang will keep his promise. As they talk, the door suddenly opens. Everyone is surprised to see Wang walk in. Guan jumps up and hugs him tightly, saying how much she missed him. Xiaonan says he thought Wang was going to leave them, but Wang reassures them that he always keeps his promises. Wang invites everyone to come see the good things he's brought for them. He shows the kids the fresh fruit, and as they start eating, their faces light up with happiness. Watching them, Miao thinks about how Wang's absence filled everyone with worry and despair, but his return brings excitement and joy. In no time, Wang has become the heart of their group. Wang calls Miao over and shows her a cold cola, saying he brought it just for her. Miao and Guan take a sip and immediately feel refreshed. Wang smiles and promises to bring more for them in the future if they like it. Just then, Chengping calls from behind, asking if Wang bought cigarettes for him. Wang nods, and when Chengping opens the box and smells the cigarettes, he grins, saying it's been years, and the familiar scent is intoxicating. Wang then tells Guan and Miao that he also brought a hot pot base. He asks them to set up the pot so they can enjoy a hot pot together. They start cooking the food together. As Wang adds ingredients to the pot, Miao reminds him to use them carefully, but Wang reassures her there's plenty to go around. Guan brings some vegetables and meat, and Wang tells her to add everything in. Watching the food cook, the kids grow excited, feeling it's going to taste amazing. Guan smiles and says that as long as they're with Wang, they'll always have good food to enjoy. When the meal is ready, Wang tells everyone to dig in. They all eat with grateful hearts. As Miao takes a bite, tears well up in her eyes. Wang looks at everyone and notices tears in their eyes. He asks if the food tastes bad. Miao quickly shakes her head and says the food is delicious. She explains that they're just emotional because it's been so long since they've tasted something like this. She remembers how, before the apocalypse, eating hot pot was normal, food was easy to find, and life wasn't so hard. People could enjoy the sunshine and simple moments. Xiaonan adds that the meal reminds him of his late parents and the family dinners they once had. Xiaobao says she misses her mom and dad too, but knows they're never coming back. Chengping quietly shares that he thinks of his granddaughter. When the apocalypse came, he couldn't protect his family, and in the end, he barely survived alone. As everyone talks about their past, Guan says the familiar taste brings back memories of happier times, like when she listens to songs and ends up in tears. Miao agrees, saying they've all been through so much to get to where they are now, and it hasn't been easy. Wang nods and says the apocalypse has already happened, and the past can't be changed. Instead, they should look ahead and live well. He believes that with everyone's effort, they can build a home together in this post-apocalyptic world. When Guan asks about their plan, Wang says the sea is to the east, so they should head that way. Even if there are no houses, they can find an island to settle on. He adds that as long as they find solid ground and plenty of water, he'll bring seeds to plant easy-to-grow vegetables. They can also raise pigs and poultry, so food won't be a problem. Although the journey is far and they don't have a car, Wang believes that if they all work together, they can make it. Miao agrees it's a good idea, but warns the road east is long and filled with wanderers and looting gangs. Xiaobao and Xiaonan say they've learned how to use guns and will protect everyone. They say they need to pack and leave tomorrow. Wang stops them and tells them not to rush packing. He says they need to be full and rested to have the energy for the journey. He picks up a drink and tells everyone to enjoy their bright future right now. The group starts relaxing and enjoying the moment. Wang also mentions he has prepared new clothes for everyone, and they should try them on after dinner. After dinner, Miao and Guan head to the room where the new clothes are neatly arranged. Miao looks at them in confusion, wondering where Wang managed to get so many. Guan picks up a set and smiles, saying it would look great on Miao. Miao nods in agreement and begins trying it on. Meanwhile, Wang is in the bathroom, stretching and sighing with relief. He remarks to himself that it's finally time to enjoy a nice, relaxing bath and unwind. As Wang prepares to step into the bathtub, he notices a small note stuck to its side. It's from Guan, thanking him for his hard work and mentioning that she heated the water for him to enjoy a hot bath. Smiling at her thoughtfulness, Wang dips his hand in to check the temperature. Finding it just right, he sinks into the warm water with a contented sigh. Relaxing, Wang muses about the stark contrast between his villa in his original world and the post-apocalyptic world he now frequents. Back home, comfort and luxury are effortless, but here, even a simple hot bath feels like a rare treasure. He reflects on the vast wealth and privileges he has back in his world, far beyond what he could use in several lifetimes, yet it feels fleeting compared to the fulfillment he finds here. Wang resolves to create a safe, self-sufficient environment for everyone in this world, one that can endure even if the system fails, ensuring peace of mind for everyone. As he ponders, the system chimes in reassuringly, stating that its functionality is reliable and that the issues Wang is concerned about do not exist. It adds that to further safeguard his team, he should focus on collecting more gold to unlock higher-level upgrades. Just then, Guan calls him from outside the bathroom, asking if the water temperature is to his liking. Wang responds that it's perfect. Suddenly the door opens and Guan steps in with a playful smile, casually announcing that she will join him as well. Wang is completely shocked when he sees Guan step into the bathtub with him. He nervously says that if she's in a hurry, he can just get out first. But Guan smiles and says there's no need. She just wants to take a bath together. Feeling embarrassed, Wang points out that two adults bathing together usually means they're a couple. Guan moves closer and playfully tells him to treat her like his girlfriend. Wang asks if she likes him, and she honestly replies that she's not sure but can't stop thinking about him. Surprised, Wang listens as Guan suddenly notices something in the bathtub. Wang quickly apologizes, gently taking her hand, and says he understands she might have feelings for him because he's cared for her, but asks if she's sure it's love. Guan asks if he doesn't like her, and Wang admits that he does, but that doesn't mean he can claim her. He hopes she can figure out if what she feels is true love or just gratitude. With that, he steps out of the tub and tells her that when she's certain about her feelings and can tell love apart from fondness, it won't be too late for them to start a relationship. Wang steps out of the bathroom and lies down on the bed, feeling refreshed and relaxed after his bath. As he stretches out, he reflects on his own hesitation. Guan is thoughtful, gentle, and undeniably charming, the kind of woman most men would dream of. Yet despite her kindness, he finds himself holding back. His thoughts drift to Zhao, who only sees him as free labor. In contrast, Guan's warmth and care stand out so clearly. Perhaps it's the scars of past betrayals that make him wary of responding to Guan's feelings, or maybe it's because he's starting to realize he might genuinely like her. As these thoughts swirl in his mind, the door opens. Guan steps out of the bathroom, her cheeks slightly flushed, wearing the cat-themed outfit Wang had brought earlier. Wang looks at her in the uniform and feels surprised. Guan notices and asks if he likes this kind of outfit. He nods and then asks where she got it. She smiles and says she found it among the clothes he bought for them. Wang suddenly remembers that while shopping online for clothes to fit everyone, the site had recommended a sailor uniform. He thought Guan would look great in it, so he ordered several sets. As he's thinking this, Guan suddenly hugs him and says that ever since being with him, she hasn't gone hungry, and most importantly, feels safe. She politely asks him to accept her feelings and gently kisses him on the lips. Their romance begins. The next morning, they set off early toward the seaside. Along the way, they try to find cars that still work but come up empty-handed. With no other option, they start walking. This makes Wang realize he needs to find more gold quickly to upgrade the system so he can bring cars and power to the post-apocalyptic world. During the day, a few Anders show up now and then, but they have enough guns and ammo to handle them easily. Still, to avoid making noise and attracting more zombies, they try to use knives whenever they can. Wang notices that ever since he upgraded the Mighty Warrior's palm technique, his agility has improved a lot. At that moment, Miao says he seems much quicker and asks if he's been training in secret. Wang confirms that he has. Then Guan moves closer and says Wang is so skilled and brave, and she feels really safe with him. Seeing Guan so close to Wang, Miao feels a little confused. As they continue their journey, night falls, and the group finds an abandoned neighborhood to rest in. The area was once a wealthy district, making it an ideal spot for Wang to search for valuable items that could help him quickly upgrade the system. Despite the many villas available, he chooses a dormitory building for its height and excellent view, ensuring they can spot any changes in the surroundings immediately. Wang instructs everyone to settle in for the night, and they head to their assigned rooms to rest. Unbeknownst to them, two men hide in the tall grass nearby, watching the group. One remarks that they've been tailing them for some time and notes how bulky their backpacks look, speculating they're filled with food. The second man disagrees, pointing out that the group likely has guns and would be difficult to overpower. The first man counters that their group only has 2 adult men, one of whom has an injured leg, while the rest are women and children. Convinced, they agree to inform the village chief about their discovery. Meanwhile, Wang sleeps soundly in his room. Guan quietly gets up, murmuring that he deserves to rest longer. She makes her way to the gallery, where Chengping is standing guard. She approaches him and says she couldn't sleep, offering to take over the watch so he can get some rest, especially since his leg is injured. Chengping agrees to let Guan take over, but advises her to alert them immediately if anything unusual happens before heading off to rest. Shortly after, rain begins to fall, and Guan, scanning the area through her rifle's scope, notices movement in the grass. Unbeknownst to her, the 2 men have returned with their village chief and several others, armed and ready. The chief points toward the building and notes that there is only one person on guard. He orders his men to take her out swiftly. As Guan continues to observe, she grows tense upon realizing that Wang was right. There are indeed people nearby. To her alarm, she sees them advancing from both sides, attempting to encircle the building. Just then, Wang and the others arrive, armed and ready. Wang asks Guan about the situation, and she reports that there are about 20 enemies. However, due to the rain, she can't determine whether they are armed with guns. Wang quickly takes charge, instructing Guan and Miao to stay with him by the windows while Chengping monitors the stairs. Chengping nods in agreement. Xiaonan and Xiaobao volunteer to join Wang in the fight, but Chengping firmly orders them to protect Xiaoyan and the others while packing their belongings for a potential emergency evacuation. Using his scope, Wang carefully assesses the situation. He notices the attackers spreading out to encircle the building and decides to act preemptively. He plans to take down 1 or 2 of them to send a clear warning. As the thugs step forward, Wang suddenly fires a shot, hitting one of the men in the head. The rest get scared and start running away to save themselves. Watching them flee, Guan smiles and says this is great. She raises her rifle, ready to take a few more shots, but Wang quickly stops her. He warns that more gunfire might attract a horde of wanderers, making it hard for them to escape. Miao agrees, saying that as long as those thugs don't bother them again, there's no need to get involved further. Back at the thugs' hiding spot, the village chief looks worried. He finds it strange how easily Wang and his group found them in the dark, and suspects they might have weapons with night vision goggles. His men share the concern, saying if that's true they won't stand a chance fighting at night, even if they do well during the day. The chief knows he needs a plan. He then orders his men to release the 300 wanderers they have locked up on the west side of the village, planning to use them against Wang's group to see how many bullets they have left. Wang and Guan stand quietly in the gallery as the rain begins to stop. Wang gently tells her that it's only a few hours until dawn, and the thugs probably won't return, so she should get some rest. But Guan refuses, wanting to stay by his side. As they talk, Wang suddenly hears rustling in the grass again. He realizes the thugs haven't given up. Looking down, they see two men slowly approaching. Guan quickly takes aim and shoots them both on the spot. Feeling relieved, Wang and Guan start to relax, but then they notice a large group of wanderers crawling nearby, closing in around them. Wang points out that there are plenty of wanderers on the other side too, and it's likely the earlier gunshots attracted all the nearby wanderers. Guan says they fired shots before without any wanderers showing up, so she wonders why there are so many now. Then she realizes it must be because of those troublemakers nearby. Wang agrees and says that if that's true, it's actually a good thing. He explains that wanderers aren't very smart and won't miss any threats, so having so many of them here is perfect for Xiao Bao and him to practice shooting. Wang adds that time isn't a problem. They have enough supplies, and since they're stuck here, they might as well stay a few more days to recover. Guan agrees. After a while, Miao and the others arrive and are shocked to see so many wanderers around. Chengping says that if they don't clear out all these wanderers, there's no way they can leave. Xiaonan reminds everyone that Wang told them before bed not to kill the wanderers yet, since they plan to use them for joint shooting practice. Miao reassures them that the wanderers can't climb up to their location, so they don't have to worry about any ambushes and can get a good night's rest. She tells everyone she will keep watch, so they should get some rest and figure things out once Wang wakes up tomorrow. Meanwhile, the villagers watch from another building, happily commenting that trapping Wang's group inside the building will make catching them much easier. After some time, morning arrives. When Wang and Guan wake up, Xiaonan reminds Wang they need to practice shooting since there are now a lot of wanderers nearby. But Wang tells him not to rush as he's hungry and wants to eat first. He says it's been a while since he cooked for everyone, so today he'll make fried beef. The kids get excited, but Miao points out that although they have plenty of food, they're surrounded and still have some wild vegetables left, so they shouldn't waste those. Wang smiles and says there are plenty of ingredients, so Miao doesn't need to worry because cooking isn't just about eating. At that moment, the thugs are cooking vegetable soup in another building. The chief tells them they'll get meat soon, but for now, they have to drink the soup. The others agree, but just as they're about to drink, a delicious smell of beef reaches them. Wang smiles and says his part-time cooking skills from college finally come in handy. As the dish is ready, he serves it to everyone. Miao praises him, saying Wang is really great at cooking. Everyone feels happy, and Miao asks if he made such a delicious dish on purpose just to let the thugs know. Wang laughs and says she really understands him. Meanwhile, the thugs angrily break their bowl of soup. They complain that Wang's group is eating well while they have to drink disgusting vegetable soup. The chief tries to calm them down, but they say that during their journey to survive, they've had to eat many terrible things, and now it's unfair that those guys get better food than them. The chief reminds them that everyone has their own fate. He tells them to remember that when the apocalypse first started, their village had over 300 people. At first, they worked hard to become self-sufficient. They weren't rich, but they had enough food. Then other groups came to steal from them. Wanderers attacked, infections spread, and their population dropped from over 300 to just over 20. Hearing this, everyone feels sad. The chief says he knows they've all been hungry for a long time, but now that the meat is right in front of them, they must stay calm. Suddenly they hear gunshots. The chief smiles and says those guys must be desperate to escape, so they've started shooting at the wanderers. He adds that once they run out of bullets, they'll attack. Meanwhile, the kids practice shooting at the wanderers. Wang calmly tells Xiaonan he needs to kill one more to reach 10. He also tells Xiao Bao she's killed 5 so far and needs to try harder. Watching them, Miao asks Chengping if using bullets this way is a waste. Chengping replies that it's not, it's an investment for the long run. When Xiaonan kills another wanderer, he's thrilled to have reached 10 kills. As a reward, Wang gives him a piece of chicken leg. Seeing Xiao Bao look sad, Xiaonan tells her they'll share his chicken leg. When Xiao Bao looks surprised, Xiaonan smiles and says they're family, so they share the good things. Wang then places more food in front of the kids and tells them it's a reward for their hard work. The kids cheer happily. When Miao asks if they really have enough food to keep eating like this, Wang reassures her there's plenty. Miao thinks about how Wang's bag seems to empty and then refills every day, but since it's his secret, she doesn't dwell on it. Wang and the kids keep shooting at the wanderers through the day and into the night. Meanwhile, the thugs grow confused, wondering how the gunfire has been non-stop since morning and how many bullets their enemies have left. The chief tells them to be patient as those constant shots will attract more wanderers, and eventually, their enemies will run out of ammo. At that moment, Wang lies down on a bench and asks the kids and Guan to give him a massage, saying he's tired from killing so many wanderers. Guan gently asks if she can join him to help so he doesn't get too exhausted, but Wang insists he can handle it alone and that they're all very helpful to him. He adds that he's using the Wanderers for target practice and that his headshot accuracy is improving. Xiaonan is amazed and says Wang has already killed 300 Wanderers on his own. Wang thinks that if he wants to upgrade the system, he has to keep taking down the Wanderers himself. Then another large group of Wanderers approaches, drawn by the sound of gunfire. This gives Wang more chances to gain experience and upgrade the system. After days of practice and with the boost from his shooting specialization skill, his shooting level now far exceeds Officer Miao's. Thanks to the shooting specialization, even a pistol feels like a sniper rifle in his hands. Although Wang has been stuck here for 7 days without finding anything valuable, this time has helped him improve his skills, so it is an unexpected benefit. Wang hands heavy boxes of food to Guan, Miao, and the others. The kids light up, joking that Wang must have a magic bag. They thought after a few days of good meals, they'd be back to eating wild vegetables. Miao adds that it makes sense why Wang always says there's plenty of food whenever she reminds him to save some. She's sure this food will last them until Wang returns. Wang tells them to eat well and take care of themselves over the next 7 days. He promises to bring even more food when he comes back. Miao smiles and says they all believe him. Wang tells everyone that after spending some time together, they've probably guessed that the food he brings needs to be paid for with gold and precious jewelry. He adds that, while gold and jewelry aren't worth much compared to survival supplies right now, he has a way to make them valuable. When the time is right, he'll explain it to them. Everyone, including Guan and Miao, promises to keep his secret. Wang then says he's leaving and reminds them that there are still some wanderers downstairs, so they need to keep watch. He teleports back to his world, landing in the grass, and asks his system if it can make his landing point more precise. The system assures him it will handle it. Wang checks his phone and sees missed calls from Hongfei, Xing, and Zhao. He's confused about Zhao's call, wondering if she's trying to get back together after a breakup. But he decides to set that aside and focus on asking Hongfei about the shop first. Arriving at his villa, Wang calls Hongfei. When Hongfei asks why he wasn't answering, Wang explains he was busy handling something, and the signal was bad. Then he asks if the police have contacted him yet. Hongfei asks why the police would need to contact him. Wang explains that after his altercation with Dong, he's concerned they might report him to the authorities and involve Hongfei. However, Hongfei reassures him, saying those thugs wouldn't risk losing face by asking the police for help. She adds that she and Xing are nearly finished setting up the shop. Wang says he was about to ask about that, but decides it's too late to discuss further and suggests continuing the conversation tomorrow. After ending the call, Wang notices Zhao calling again. When he answers, she immediately brings up hearing that he shot someone from the Black Tiger gang. Wang confirms it, but firmly tells her that his business is none of her concern. Zhao says she's just giving him a friendly warning, that he's in serious trouble. She explains that while Li was surprised to learn Wang has a gun, neither he nor the Black Tiger gang plans to let this go. She adds that it seems Li is even hiring assassins to deal with him. As Zhao notices Li approaching from behind, she abruptly ends the call. Wang, now reflecting on the conversation, feels puzzled by Zhao's sudden kindness. He considers the situation carefully. Though his shooting specialization skill has already reached level 4, he acknowledges that using firearms in his world is not always practical. Thinking about the threat of Li hiring assassins, Wang realizes that relying solely on the mighty warrior's palm won't be sufficient. Determined to strengthen his abilities, he calls upon the system and declares his intent to draw the lottery. He needs to upgrade the mighty warrior's palm and obtain new resources. Without delay, the system summons the lottery machine, its shimmering form appearing in front of him, ready for use. The system informs Wang that only 150 kilograms of gold remain in the system space, enough for a single draw. Wang contemplates his options. He decides to proceed with one draw first. If the result isn't satisfactory, he plans to retrieve 1,000 kilograms of gold from his basement for 10 additional draws, replenishing it later with what he collects in the post-apocalyptic world. The system also updates Wang, stating that it requires only 50,000 kilograms of gold to upgrade again. Once upgraded, the system store will be activated, allowing direct exchanges of gold and jewelry for goods. Intrigued by this potential upgrade, Wang pulls the lottery handle. To his amazement, he wins a new skill called Reed Crossing the River. Eager to learn more, Wang reviews the skill's description and asks the system how the inner strength value is calculated. The system explains that inner strength is based on the vitality attribute, with each point of vitality equating to 10 points of inner strength. Excited to test his new skill, Wang steps onto the road and gauges the distance to downtown, approximately 5 kilometers. He comments aloud, curious to see how quickly he can cover the distance now with his enhanced abilities. Wang activates the skill and starts running quickly, feeling his body grow lighter with every step. When he reaches the town, he's amazed to see that he covered the 5 kilometers in just 9 minutes. As he looks around, he notices a group of men bothering an old man and his daughter who are setting up a stall. The men demand that the old man pay the site fee immediately. Wang recognizes them as members of the Black Tiger gang. While one of the men talks to the old man, another man named Jie, their senior, arrives. Ji tells the old man that he will pay the site fee for him. Looking at the daughter, Ji says she reminds him of his little sister. He steps closer to touch her, but the old man quickly warns him to stay away, insisting she's still underage. Wang steps forward, anger flaring, intending to intervene. Just as Jie reaches out to grab the girl, an elderly man suddenly seizes Jie's hand in a firm grip. The old man sternly remarks on the shame of grown men bullying an elderly person and harassing a young girl, questioning how they can call themselves men. Furious, Jai warns the old man to back off, threatening to smash his head, but the old man calmly invites him to try. Jai then realizes to his shock that he can't move his hand. It's completely immobilized by the old man's unyielding grasp. While the others look on in confusion, Wang notices something they don't. He can tell Jie isn't holding back by choice. He's simply unable to move. The old man, unimpressed, taunts Jie, asking why he suddenly stopped threatening to smash heads. Enraged, Jai orders his companions to attack. One of the men throws a punch at the old man's face, but to everyone's astonishment, it has no effect. Staggered by the lack of impact, the attacker mutters about the old man using some kind of dark magic. The old man corrects him with a smirk, saying that this isn't black magic, it's kung fu. Suddenly, the old man strikes both men with a powerful palm strike, sending them stumbling backward. Everyone gasps in shock at his skill. The others quickly draw their knives and rush at him, ready to attack. But the old man effortlessly dodges their blows and starts fighting back, landing quick strikes on them. When Jai lunges at him with a knife, the old man blocks his hand, making the knife drop to the ground. With a swift move, he throws Jai down next to his companion and says that lying down together suits both of them. Just as Jie jumps at the old man again, swinging a stool to attack, Wang suddenly steps in. With a strong strike from his mighty warrior's palm, he knocks Ji hard to the ground. The old man watches in surprise, recognizing the power behind Wang's blow. Seeing this, the crowd cheers, glad the thugs are getting their lesson. Wang turns to the old man and asks if he's alright. The old man nods, impressed, and says Wang is very skilled. The old man and his daughter thank both Wang and the old man for saving them. Wang warns that now they've angered the thugs, it's not safe to keep their stall here. The old man and his daughter agree to leave immediately. Meanwhile, Jai's companions start to run away. Jai tries to escape too, but Wang blocks him and asks if he really thinks he can just run after causing trouble. Scared, Ji begs Wang not to hit him again. Wang tells him he knows this is the Black Tiger Gang's territory, but that doesn't give them the right to bully others. Then, quietly, Ji asks which gang Wang and the old man belong to. Wang smiles and says they don't belong to any gang, but he gives Ji his name. When Wang asks for the old man's name, the old man replies with a calm smile, saying he'll share it later, as Jie isn't worthy of knowing. Wang then firmly orders Jai to leave as the old man instructed. Suddenly, Ji recalls something. Wang is the same man Dong had wanted to deal with. He realizes Wang isn't just skilled, he's the one who shot Dog, who is still hospitalized. Snapping out of his thoughts, Ji hears Wang angrily demand why he's still standing there. Frightened, Jai quickly flees. The bystanders cheer, calling Wang and the old man heroes for teaching the thugs a lesson. However, they also warn that the gang won't let this slide and suggest the two leave quickly. Wang agrees, but before departing, the old man invites him for a cup of tea. They move to a quieter spot, where the old man observes that Wang has reached the second level of the mighty warrior's palm. Impressed by his keen insight, Wang realizes this man is a true master. When asked his age, Wang responds that he's 21 and still a university student. The old man praises him, calling his achievements admirable. Wang humbly thanks him, saying the old man is too kind. The old man then smiles and mentions he has an unreasonable request, asking if Wang would be willing to help him. Wang says that if it's something he can do, he won't refuse. The master then says they should spar his Tai Chi against Wang's mighty warrior's palm. Wang is surprised and hesitates. He says he can't spar because his mighty warrior's palm might hurt someone. The master reassures him that his Tai Chi isn't just for show and that Wang won't hurt him. He adds they'll stop at the right moment, treating this as an exchange of martial arts skills. Wang agrees, and they both take their positions, ready to spar. The master tells Wang to make the first move, but Wang admits he's a bit scared and asks the master to start instead. The master insists that if he goes first, Wang might not get another chance, so Wang has to move first. Wang agrees, and by using about 30% of his power, he leaps forward and swings his palm toward the master. But the master quickly blocks the attack and counters with a palm strike to Wang's stomach. Wang slides back several meters, surprised by how fast the master is, so fast he can barely see the move. He's also amazed that the master's light strike has such a strong impact. The master smiles and says that using softness to overcome hardness, that's the beauty of Tai Chi. He adds that if Wang was holding back, then he's really underestimating him. Wang replies that from now on, he will use his full power. Wang launches himself at the master again, this time with everything he's got, but the master remains calm and steady. After a while, the master offers him some tea. Wang's face is bruised and scratched. He's clearly taken many hits. The master's power is far greater, and Wang's attacks haven't landed. Wang thanks the master for his guidance. The master tells him that for someone so young, Wang has already cultivated impressive inner strength, which shows real talent. However, he points out that Wang's movements aren't flexible enough, which is why he got hurt. He also says Wang lacks real combat experience, and to unlock the full power of the mighty warrior's palm, he needs more practical fighting practice. Wang then says he has a request. He wants to learn Tai Chi from the master and asks to become his student. The master asks if learning Tai Chi won't interfere with Wang's training since he hasn't fully mastered the mighty warrior's palm yet. Wang assures him not to worry, he won't neglect his mighty warrior's palm practice. He explains that while the mighty warrior's palm is powerful in attack, it relies only on brute strength and is useless against someone stronger. Tai Chi, on the other hand, is different. It can both attack and defend, and it uses the opponent's own strength against them. The master nods, impressed by Wang's unique insight. He explains that the mighty warrior's palm is a top-level martial art based on pure strength, but it's also a Buddhist martial art, embodying compassion and mercy, reflecting the spirit of Buddhism. He notes that Wang hasn't become arrogant because of his skills, but instead shows concern about hurting others. Because of this, the master agrees to take Wang as his disciple. Wang feels happy and thanks the master warmly for his kindness. The master thinks to himself that he didn't expect to find such a precious disciple just while taking a walk. He then reveals his real name is Zhengguo and explains that this martial art has been passed down in his family and is usually not taught to outsiders. Wang feels honored, knowing that the master now considers him like family. He promises to work hard and not waste the master's efforts. Zhengguo tells him that how much he learns depends on his own ability, but warns that if Wang does anything immoral after joining the sect, he will have to personally deal with the consequences. Wang is surprised by the master's serious look, but quickly assures him that he will never disgrace the sect or go against his conscience. Later, Wang walks through the streets with his friends Hongfei and Xing. Xing asks if they're really going to buy luxury cars for both of them. Wang explains that the cars are to improve work efficiency and that, as shareholders of the company, luxury cars fit their status. Then Xing asks Wang what he plans to get for himself. Wang replies that he wants to buy a van, which surprises both his friends. But Wang thinks a van will make Guan and the others happy. They arrive at the car showroom, and Wang's friends are amazed as they look at the cars. Suddenly, Wang notices the manager, a young woman, getting angry with a worker. She asks why he didn't inform her when premium customers arrived. The worker replies that she was resting in her room, so he didn't tell her. This only makes her angrier. Watching the scene, Wang feels sorry for how badly the workplace is managed. Wang calls the manager over and simply says that he and his friends want to buy some cars and asks if she can show them some options. Meanwhile, his friends start taking pictures of the cars. Seeing this, the manager snaps at them to stay away since the cars are very expensive. Then she looks Wang up and down, judging him by his clothes and shoes. She tells him bluntly that he looks like an ordinary student and that this showroom doesn't sell bicycles. Wang calmly asks if she thinks he can't afford the cars. The girl steps forward and tells the worker to handle Wang and his friends. She adds that if his sales don't meet the target this month, he'll be fired. After she leaves, the worker, named Xiao, tells Wang to stay calm because she's always like that. Wang mentions that she said Xiao might lose his job if he doesn't hit the sales goal and asks how much more he needs to sell. Xiao replies that he's still quite far from reaching the target. Wang assures Xiao that as long as he gives them good recommendations, he'll help him reach his sales target all at once. Xiao starts showing them cars. First, he shows a car priced at 630,000. Wang's friends are happy, but Hongfei says they don't need such expensive cars since they can do business without flashy vehicles. Wang replies that they should look for something else. Then he tells Xiao this car is too cheap and asks to see more expensive options. His friends are surprised by this, but Wang smiles and grabs them by the shoulders, saying they're his true friends and he won't forget their kindness. He promises to help them make big money and become billionaires. Hearing this, his friends and Xiao get emotional, though Xiao wonders if they can really afford such expensive cars. Next, Xiao shows them a Mercedes priced at 970,000. Wang asks if they have any cars over $1 million. Xiao points to another Mercedes model and says it's the most expensive in that series. Wang's friends are even more impressed. Hongfei even gets inside the car to get a feel for it. Then Wang asks about the price. Xiao tells them the car costs 2.3 million. Xing is completely stunned, and Hongfei says that if they had known the price earlier, he wouldn't have gotten inside the car. Just then, the girl walks over and sternly asks what they're doing. She questions whether they can really afford these cars. When she orders Hongfei to get out of the car, Wang stops him and says he can sit wherever he wants. Wang will handle the girl. The girl turns to Xiao angrily, asking why he showed such expensive cars to them for a test drive. Hearing her rude tone, Xing tells her she's being very disrespectful. The girl snaps back that if college students like them don't have the money, they shouldn't come here just to test drive sports cars. She orders them to leave immediately, and threatens to call security to kick them out. Xing says he will report her rude behavior toward customers, but Wang calms him down. He tells Xing to let her call security as Wang will take care of it later. At this moment, security arrives and the girl orders them to throw the guys out. Xiao objects, saying they are customers, but she refuses to listen. The security guards tell the three of them to leave immediately, or they'll be forced to drag them out. Wang asks what they'll do if they don't leave. One of the guards steps forward to grab him, but before they can react, Wang strikes both guards with powerful palm strikes. Both fall to the ground, leaving Xing and Hongfei shocked at how strong and skilled Wang has become. The girl angrily demands to know how he could hurt them, and insists he pay for their medical bills right away, or she'll call the police. Without hesitation, Wang throws a gold bar in front of her and says it should cover the medical expenses. He adds that she's the one who started this. They came here to buy a car, but she called security to harass them. If she really wants to call the police, she can, but his friend Hongfei has already recorded everything. One of the security guards notices the gold bar looks real. The girl is surprised and starts to think maybe these plainly dressed kids are actually wealthy. Wang tells her he's going to teach her a lesson. Every customer is important, and her bad attitude has damaged the store's reputation. The girl still says the guys are welcome there, but Xiao thinks she's gone too far. She threatens to fire him through the head office. Xiao just smiles and says there's no need, he already quit. He steps forward and says he always believed that sincerely serving customers and giving honest advice was the key to doing his job well. But if improving means becoming like her, he'd rather find a new career. Wang stops him and says he still wants Xiao to help him. When Xiao reminds him he's not an employee anymore, Wang replies that every industry has bad apples, but Xiao doesn't have to be one of them. He then tells Xiao he wants to buy 3 of the highest-end cars in different colors. This surprises both Xiao and the girl. The girl points out that each car costs over 2 million. Wang calmly hands Xiao his phone and tells him to enter their company's account number so he can transfer the money immediately. Hongfei steps in and warns the girl that they will report her rude behavior to her head office, and she might be the one getting fired. Wang completes the transfer, and the security guard tells the girl that over 7 million just landed in the store's account. When she checks the name, she realizes it's Wang. Meanwhile, Wang asks Xiao to start the paperwork. As they begin to move, the girl calls out to Wang, congratulating him on becoming a VIP customer at the store. She apologizes softly for her earlier rude behavior, but Wang tells her it's too late for that. Wang's friends suggest reporting her to higher management, but she begs Wang not to, saying she'll lose her manager position. She promises to do whatever he wants. Wang tells her to make sure all the manager's commission from this sale goes to Xiao. Xiao feels deeply moved. Wang adds that he'll keep an eye on things, so she shouldn't try any tricks or cause trouble for Xiao. She agrees, and the three of them leave together. Now inside their new sports car, they happily cruise down the road. They call each other, and both of Wang's friends say how impressed they are with him. Hongfei points out that since Wang broke up with Zhao, he's completely changed. While they talk, they spot 2 sports cars ahead. Xing says he has a meeting with the goldsmith soon, so they need to overtake those cars. Wang and Hongfei agree, and they all speed up. Inside the other 2 cars, the drivers notice the 3 cars behind them and decide to accelerate, trying to stay ahead. Hongfei excitedly says it looks like they want to race. Xing and Hongfei get ready to race too. Wang asks when they last drove a car, and they say they've only driven their dad's cars a few times. Wang tells his friends they don't need to take any risks, since they still can't match those other guys, and they both agree. Meanwhile, one of the drivers asks his companion why the 3 cars behind stopped trying to catch up. The companion says he noticed they don't have license plates yet, and guesses they're just on a test drive. The first driver says the store wouldn't let customers drive this fast, and his companion suggests that means they've already bought the cars. The first driver adds that he wants to see who can really afford to buy 3 AMG GTS at once. As he slows down, Xing tells Wang the other drivers are slowing too, trying to get closer. When Wang and the first driver pull up side by side, the driver points ahead and says there's a gas station up ahead. He asks if they want to stop and get to know each other, and Wang agrees. At the gas station, the crowd is impressed to see so many sports cars together. Wang and his friends approach the 2 drivers, and Wang asks what they want. One of the guys simply says they want to be friends and introduces himself as Liu Xinghua with his friend Zhang Wenqiang. Wang introduces himself and his friends, and Liu says he's just curious. He notices all 3 of them drive the same car model and asks if they're planning to form a racing team. He adds that most rich young people prefer Ferraris or Porsches, but these 3 seem to like Mercedes-Benz instead. Wang smiles and explains it's not just because they like Mercedes, they actually bought 3 at once to make a statement. Zhang says he hasn't driven the AMG GT version yet, so Wang casually tosses him his car key and tells him to take it for a spin if he wants. Zhang is surprised, and Liu jokes that people say you shouldn't lend out your favorite cars or women, but Wang is really generous. Zhang teases that Liu's Ferrari is worth 5 or 6 million, so if Zhang scratches Wang's car, he can just ask Liu to cover the cost. Liu then hands his Ferrari key to Wang and says he'll take Zhang's Porsche for a drive. The 5 of them swap cars and chat for a while. They soon learn that Liu and Zhang aren't just ordinary rich kids. They both come from well-known families with plenty of wealth and influence. They don't have the usual arrogance of rich heirs. Instead, Liu and Zhang are friendly and down to earth. During the meal, everyone talks and laughs, enjoying the time together. When Liu and Zhang learn that Wang and his friends are still in college but already planning to open a jewelry store, They express a lot of respect for them. Liu says he really admires them and is interested in their business, so they exchange contact information. He also tells Wang that if he ever needs help or has a good idea, he can reach out to him. Soon, it's time to return to the post-apocalyptic world. This time, Wang brings plenty of food in a large van to fit everyone. He wonders how Guan and the others have been during the 7 days he's been away, especially with so many wanderers around. Wang then commands his system to open the teleportation portal. The system activates immediately, and Wang is teleported back to the post-apocalyptic world, this time landing right in a bathtub. When Wang asks why the system teleported him to the bathroom, the system explains that it chooses the landing spot based on where Wang subconsciously wants to land the most, so it's not the system's fault. Wang steps out of the bathroom and is surprised to see Miao changing clothes in his room. He asks why she's there, and she slaps him playfully, saying this is her room, not his. Wang then leaves and finds Guan and Xiaonan waiting. When Guan sees him, she happily hugs him. But Wang quickly notices a bad smell and asks what it is. Xiaonan tells him to come outside and see for himself. Outside, Wang is shocked to see many dead wanderer bodies scattered around, causing the terrible smell. Both kids cheerfully say that having so many targets helped them improve their shooting skills. Chengping explains that the village thugs were cowards. They never confronted them directly but kept luring nearby wanderers toward them. Wang guesses the thugs wanted to drain their ammo before attacking. Miao joins them and complains that the wanderers have stunk up the whole place, and if they weren't waiting for Wang, they would have left long ago. Guan asks Wang if they can start preparing to leave, and Wang agrees, saying they'll set off early the next morning. Meanwhile, the thugs are holed up in another building. They mention it's been 7 days, but those guys are still holding out, like a walking arsenal with endless ammo. The chief tells them that now the wanderers are gone. Everyone is getting impatient, but they have to stay calm. He orders them to keep wearing down their enemies, even if they still have bullets. Eventually, the stench of the dead will suffocate them. Hearing this, the men cheer and praise their chief's strong spirit. Back in their room, Wang lies on the bed while Guan, dressed beautifully, moves closer to him. They begin a romantic moment. Meanwhile, in her own room, Miao feels embarrassed hearing all the noises from their room. The next morning, one of the thugs spots something near the building where Wang and his group stayed. He's stunned and quickly calls the chief over to see. The chief sees that Wang and the others have a van and are driving away. They're confused about where Wang got the petrol. One of the men asks if they should chase them, but the chief refuses, saying they can't afford to mess with those guys. Instead, he orders them to search the place they stayed, in case they left something behind. Meanwhile, on the street, a young zombie boy and a girl are about to meet. As the boy steps forward, Wang's van suddenly hits him, killing him instantly, and they speed away. Inside the van, Miao is driving and tells Wang she hasn't driven in a long time, so he should take the wheel. Wang reassures her that if the van breaks, he'll just get another one. Chengping starts vomiting, and when Guan asks how he's feeling, he explains it's because he hasn't been in a car for so long. Xiaonan then tells Wang that the thugs didn't just want to attack them, they also lured the wanderers to drain their ammo, so why Wang left some rice for the wanderers. Xiaonan, still upset about leaving the rice bags for the thugs, grumbles that they should have dealt with them more harshly. Wang, however, calms him down with a smile, pointing out that if the thugs hadn't brought the wanderers, they wouldn't have had the chance to hone their shooting skills. Xiao Bao chimes in, laughing, and remarks that Wang has repaid them in his own way. Meanwhile, the thugs enter the building and are shocked to find 2 bags of rice left behind. Confused, they wonder if Wang and his group forgot to take them. The chief, examining the rice, notes how valuable it is and dismisses the idea that it was left behind by mistake. One of the men suggests the rice might be poisoned, but the chief shakes his head, reasoning that if Wang's group wanted to kill them, they would have used their guns long before now. Convinced, the thugs pick up the bags, and the chief orders them to start cooking. Back in the van, Xiaonan is still brooding over the rice, feeling it was too generous a gesture. Wang leans closer and in a low voice admits that he mixed something into the rice. Xiaonan's mood instantly brightens, and Wang adds that it's a fitting punishment for the thugs after sending so many wanderers their way. As the day progresses, Guan and Miao settle into the last row of the van and fall asleep, while Wang and the others excitedly speculate about what the gathering place might look like. After a long drive, they finally reach their destination. Chengping points ahead, telling Wang to take a look. Wang spots the edge of a small city that appears to be inhabited by humans. As night falls, the group sets up their tent near the roadside. Inside, Miao asks Guan about the kids, to which Guan replies that they're already asleep. Curious, Guan asks where Wang is, and Miao mentions that she saw him step out to check the surroundings. She guesses he's likely debating whether or not they should enter the city. Nearby, Wang stands quietly, staring at the distant city lights. His mind wrestles with uncertainty. The city could be a safe haven, or it might hold unknown dangers. He knows their next steps require careful consideration. Back at the tent, Xiaonan proposes that if they intend to enter the city, they should act soon. Chengping, however, advises caution. pointing out that they're a large group. If they rush into the city and face danger, they might not be able to protect everyone. Guan speculates that Wang is likely considering entering the city to look for gold. Miao agrees, adding that their resources don't just appear out of nowhere. Wang trades gold and jewelry for food and supplies, which makes finding gold a critical priority. Miao says she really wants to help Wang, but this is about everyone's safety. Xiaonan tells her to just tell Wang that they'll follow him into the city to find gold. They have guns and aren't afraid. Chengping agrees, adding they can protect themselves, so Wang doesn't need to worry too much. Everyone agrees they should go into the city with Wang, and when Wang says they have to do this, Miao says she'll go talk to him. Meanwhile, Wang thinks about how much he wants to upgrade the system quickly, but he's unsure if there's any gold in the city. It feels too risky. If they run into local gangs like the Shark Gang again, things could get worse. He realizes that while upgrading is important, the safety of Guan and the others matters more, and he can't take unnecessary risks. Just then, Miao and Guan arrive, and Wang tells them he's decided to take a detour because everyone's safety comes first. Miao asks if this is the conclusion he reached after thinking about it all night. Miao adds that they just discussed it, and everyone supports Wang's decision to enter the city because they all want to help him collect gold. Hearing this, Wang hesitates, pointing out that going into the city comes with unpredictable risks. Guan acknowledges the danger but assures him that Miao has already come up with a plan. Smiling, Guan explains they'll first find a safe place for Chengping and the others to stay. Then, she and Miao will accompany Wang into the city to scout the situation. Miao chimes in with a playful tone, asking if that eases his worries. Wang, however, remains concerned. He points out that Chengping's leg is still injured, and Xiaobao, Xiaonan, and the others are too young to be left behind. Miao reassures him, noting that after their recent training, the kids' skills have improved significantly. She confidently states that as long as they don't encounter a large group of wanderers, they'll manage. She reminds Wang of how they all worked together to defeat the 4 major gangs. From that moment, they've been mentally prepared to fight alongside him. She emphasizes that their bond is no longer just a casual alliance. It's the connection of a family forged through shared struggles and hardships. When reassures Wang that no matter what happens, they will always stand by him. Moved by their unwavering support, Wang nods and agrees. Later, the 3 of them return to the campsite where their tent is set up. As soon as Xiaonan spots Wang, his face lights up with joy. Wang grins and announces to everyone that he's in a great mood tonight and wants to share something with them. He pulls out a guitar, surprising everyone, and begins to play and sing a romantic classic, Hotel California. As his voice fills the night air, the group listens intently, their eyes fixed on him with admiration. Guan, in particular, looks at Wang with a soft and affectionate gaze. The atmosphere is serene, and the night feels calm and magical. When morning arrives, Wang gathers the group to inform them that he, Guan, and Miao are heading out. The kids confidently assure him that they'll keep everyone safe while he's gone. Miao smiles and tells them they'll be back soon. Before leaving, Wang hands Chengping a fresh pack of cigarettes, jokingly advising him to savor them slowly. Chengping says he's been saving the cigarettes Wang gave him before, and Wang tells him not to worry, he still has plenty, so Chengping can enjoy them whenever he wants. The 3 of them start walking toward the city. Wang notices that Miao is unusually quiet, so he asks what's on her mind. She says she understands Wang's good intentions in giving Chengping cigarettes, but he should cut back because Chengping's health isn't great. Wang nods in understanding. He says that if times were peaceful, he'd definitely tell Chengping to smoke less, but in this post-apocalyptic world, smoking might be one of the few comforts Chengping has left. Miao agrees with him. As they talk, Guan suddenly hears the sound of a car engine. They quickly hide in a nearby spot. A jeep slowly patrols the area, carrying 3 armed men. When the jeep passes, Wang remarks that these people not only have vehicles but also guns. It seems the small city they're heading to is a human settlement. Guan says they should take care of these men first. Miao suggests they need to interrogate them about the city, but Wang thinks it's better to trade food with them instead. Miao asks what they will do if those men kill them and steal everything. Wang says that if that happens, they'll have a backup plan, but he'll need both of them to work closely with him. Meanwhile, the thugs in the jeep suddenly stop when they spot a girl and a boy crawling nearby. It's Wang and Miao. The thugs order them to stop or they'll shoot. Wang knows this is part of his plan. He and Miao will go unarmed to negotiate, while Guan hides in a high spot as their sniper. If things go wrong, she will take out the thugs immediately. Wang calmly tells the thugs they're from another city and want to find refuge for a while. One of the men responds that they often get people like them trying to settle here because the territory is well defended. He warns that it took a lot of effort to keep it that way. The thug then says if they want to enter, they have to give up some food. Wang quickly agrees to hand it over. At this moment, Miao notices one of the men trying to make a move toward her. As the man steps closer to Miao, he suddenly wrinkles his nose and asks if they fell into a cesspit because they smell so bad. The thugs take the bags from them and open them, surprised to find they are full of bread packets. After grabbing the bread, the thugs tell Wang and Miao to step aside. They're leaving now. Miao thinks Wang's plan worked, even if it was a little uncomfortable, and it saved them from trouble. She remembers when they were hiding in their secret spot, and tells Wang that Guan has reached her position, so they need to move. But Wang stops her and says that in this post-apocalyptic world, men will always react to a beauty like her. He hands her a jar and says that with this, not even ghosts would dare come near. He explains it's stinky tofu which smells awful but tastes great. As Meow smells it, she immediately starts gagging and vomiting. Wang and Meow arrive at a larger shelter. Suddenly a voice comes through a speaker, asking why they are there. Wang replies that they want to take shelter inside. 2 bodyguards come out from a big door, guns in hand, and order them to raise their hands. Wang says they have no food left to give. Then a heavyset woman steps forward and says the bodyguards aren't here to steal food, they're here to protect her. She asks if they have any ID. Wang explains they lost theirs a long time ago. The woman hands them a paper and tells them to write down their names and details. Suddenly she wrinkles her nose at a bad smell, and Wang admits they haven't bathed for days while traveling, so they probably smell. She tells them the shelter does accept outsiders like them, but once inside, they must follow the rules. If they want to stay, they'll have to work for their leader, Jin. Wang asks what kind of work is available, and the woman replies that there are all sorts of jobs, each with a reward. She shows him a note labeled Jin dollar, explaining that it's the currency they use. People can earn it by working, and it can be exchanged for housing, food, and other necessities. However, everything must be paid for with either Jin dollars or food. As Wang examines the note, he thinks Jin must be clever and skilled in management to establish such a system. His curiosity about the city grows, and he thanks the woman, agreeing to work for Jin. She warns them that crimes like theft or robbery are strictly forbidden, and violators will face deadly consequences. Both Wang and Meow assure her they won't break any laws. Upon entering the town, Wang looks around and comments on how peaceful it seems. The tall walls surrounding the area make it feel like the ideal gathering place they had imagined. Meow nods in agreement but suddenly stops him when he suggests bringing Guan and the others here. She points out that something feels off and urges Wang to take a closer look at the residents. As Wang observes, he notices the people appear lifeless and alarmingly thin, as if they are mere skeletons. They spot a greenhouse nearby where a few bodyguards are standing. Meow remarks that even though food is grown here, Jin probably controls and distributes it very strictly. While they watch the area, a man approaches them and asks if they're new residents. He says he helps people find jobs in the town. Wang and Meow walk over to him, and Wang asks if it will be hard to find suitable work. The man assures them there are over 300 people living in this small town, and he assigns most of the jobs. He shows them a list of available jobs, explaining they can pick any, with pay clearly listed and paid daily. Wang studies the list, and the man adds that he updates the jobs every day. If they don't see anything they want to do, they can choose not to work, but since food and housing require Jin dollars, not working means they won't have resources to live here. Wang then asks about the cost of rent for the cheapest housing. The man replies that rent is charged daily, and the cheapest place costs 5 Jin dollars for 12 hours. Hearing this, Meow and Wang are surprised to see some jobs pay as little as 6 Jin dollars. The man explains that if they want a better place to live, they'll need to find higher paying work. He also mentions that he charges a 2 Jin dollar fee for every successful job placement. Wang reacts, saying that with such costs, they might end up sleeping on the streets. The man warns that although the town looks peaceful during the day, nights tell a different story. Wang recalls the chubby woman at the entrance saying that stealing and other illegal activities are banned. But the man laughs and says that rule is just to stop people from stealing Jin's food. He points out that, aside from Jin's men, most residents are nothing but skin and bones. He explains that the work is tough, and many realize their earnings aren't enough to buy food, so they stay hungry like everyone else. The man adds that hungry people can do desperate things. He also tells them about a newcomer who spent all his money on food and had no rent left, so he had to sleep in a hidden corner at night. He adds that one night, something terrible happened to a newcomer. His legs were chopped off. Wang and Meow are shocked to hear this, and the man insists it's true. Wang then says that if he wants to make good money, he should become a bodyguard, since it's the highest paying job available. Meow wants to apply too, but the man doubts it, saying their build isn't right for bodyguards. He then suggests that with Meow's beauty, she should become a dancer to catch Jin's attention, which would bring her clear benefits. He explains that Jin, the town's leader, loves collecting beautiful women and often throws swimsuit parties for them at his luxurious villa. Meow feels embarrassed hearing this, and Wang quickly rejects the idea, insisting they're both only applying for the bodyguard jobs. The man agrees to help them apply and tells them to come back tomorrow. As Wang and Meow walk away, Wang is still angry about the dancer's suggestion. Meow calls out to him and says if their application is rejected, he'll have to let her approach Jin alone. Wang angrily refuses again, saying even he hasn't seen Meow in a swimsuit, so there's no way those guys can. Meow laughs and playfully slaps him. As they talk, a luxury car arrives with several bodyguards. The crowd immediately starts shouting that Jin has arrived and that it's time to eat. People rush toward the car, but the bodyguards raise their guns, ordering everyone to stay back. The car's sunroof opens, and Jin first shows everyone his golden scepter, which has 2 shining gems embedded in it. Wang and Miao are surprised by how valuable the gems look. Seeing Miao's interest in gems, Wang quietly says he'll find a way to get those gems for her and Guan. Jin, a short man, then stands up through the sunroof and announces that it's mealtime again. He asks if everyone has been listening and working hard to earn Jin dollars. He clearly states that only those who work hard will be respected and get to eat their fill. The crowd shows him the money they earned, ready to receive their food. As Wang looks at Jin, he thinks the chubby woman must be infatuated with him because she expected Jin to be tall and handsome. But seeing Jin now, he looks sleazy and rat-like. Wang tells Miao that these people seem even crazier than wanderers. Jin manages to make everyone work for him with just a little food. Miao explains that before the post-apocalyptic world, Jin was a real estate tycoon, and she even arrested him once. She adds that Jin had influence back then but always used underhanded tactics. Just then, Jin orders everyone to line up and hand over their Jin dollars to get food. Everyone agrees. A woman with a small baby steps forward and gives money to one of Jin's workers, gently asking for 2 bowls of meat soup. The worker tells her money only covers 1 bowl. Shocked, she asks if it wasn't 2 Jin dollars per bowl before. The worker says the food was brought back by Jin's men risking their lives, so the price has gone up. The woman pleads that her children haven't eaten for days and asks for another bowl. People behind her shout that she should buy it or leave the line. Reluctantly, she agrees to buy just 1. Watching this, Wang feels a pang of sympathy for her. As the woman takes the bowl, she asks again if she can have more, but the worker bluntly tells her to take what she has or leave it. She takes the bowl and walks away with her child, feeding the soup to the little one. Suddenly, she notices someone behind her. It's Wang. She asks him not to take her food, but Wang quickly assures her he's not there for that. Instead, he offers her some bread. To his surprise, she throws the bowl behind her and runs off, saying she doesn't want bread. Wang tries to stop her, but Miao arrives and tells him that she won't accept anything from him now because he's already scared her away. Wang, confused, asks why she rejected food when she looks starving. Miao replies that this small town is strange, and they need to watch carefully. Some men stand in front of Jin, and his bodyguard tells him they want to join the expedition team. Another man says they can arrange for them to leave tomorrow and asks for Jin's opinion. Jin warns the men to think carefully because joining the expedition is very dangerous. They ask if they will get bread if they join now. Jin confirms this and orders his men to give them bread. When the bodyguard throws the bread packets in front of them, the men quickly grab them. Jin tells his assistant to watch these men closely and to stop them if they try to escape. As they talk, a man named Dazu arrives. Jin asks him what he wants. Dazu kneels down, begging Jin to send his doctor to save his sister. Jin asks Dazu about his sister, and Dazu explains that she has been running a high fever for several days. He admits he's feeling weaker and came to Jin to request help arranging a doctor. Jin responds casually, calling it a minor issue, and tells Dazu to bring his sister to him for the best care. When Dazu mentions that his sister is only 15 and still a child, Jin dismisses the concern, stating that he's a businessman who always seeks profit. Jin offers an alternative. If Dazu isn't willing to trade his sister, he can offer himself instead. Jin adds that if his sister agrees to join the expedition again, he'll have his private doctor treat her. Left with no other choice, Dazu agrees to rejoin the expedition. Satisfied, Jin leaves, while Dazu remains on the ground. Nearby, people whisper among themselves, recalling that the last time Dazu joined the expedition team, it was also to help his sister. They murmur about how dangerous the missions are, life and death situations. They note that Dazu was the only survivor from the previous journey to the northern city, where the highest level wanderers roam. Dazu eventually returns home and gently places a wet cloth on his sister's forehead, trying to ease her fever. Dazu sits by his sister's side and reassures her that a doctor will visit tomorrow. He blames himself for her condition, admitting that he couldn't afford better food, and she must have eaten something bad, causing her fever. His sister softly pleads with him not to leave the city again, saying it's too dangerous. Dazu lies, telling her he isn't going out of the city and has only agreed to work as Jin's bodyguard. Just then, a sudden rapid knock echoes through the room. The force of the knock causes the door to break open. Standing in the doorway are 2 strangers, Wang and Miao. Wang quickly apologizes for the damage. Dazu, alarmed, sternly demands to know who they are and why they've come. Wang calmly explains that he heard Dazu needed medicine. He adds that they are travelers from another city and happen to have some medicine with them. Miao notices the little girl on the bed and quickly realizes she must be Dazu's sister, burning with a high fever. As Miao steps closer, Dazu moves between them, blocking her path. He firmly orders her to stay away from his sister. Miao, unfazed, points out that the girl is burning up and bluntly asks if Dazu wants to save her or not. Dazu hesitates before asking if they're truly here to help his sister. Wang steps in, explaining that while they do need Dazu's help with something, saving his sister is the priority. Reluctantly, Dazu agrees to let them assist. Miao examines the girl closely and concludes her fever must be over 40 degrees. She turns to Dazu and asks if he's tried any physical cooling methods to bring down the fever. Miao quickly instructs Wang to fetch some fever medicine and tells Dazu to bring a basin of water. Both comply without hesitation. 5 minutes later, Miao administers the medicine to the little girl and feels relieved as her fever begins to drop. When Daju and Wang return, they notice the improvement in the girl's condition. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Daju kneels before them, thanking them sincerely for saving his sister. He explains that his little sister, Li Xiaolu, is his only remaining family and declares that his life now belongs to them for what they've done. Wang and Miao urge him to stand, saying they need to discuss something important. Daju hesitates, admitting he doesn't know what they want from him but promises to do it, even if it costs his life. Wang reassures him, saying they simply want information about the area, as it seems Daju has been living here for a while. Relieved, Daju remarks that he thought they might ask him to do something drastic like kill or kidnap someone. Smiling slightly, Wang introduces himself and Miao. Daju reciprocates by introducing himself and his sister. Before leaving, Wang hands Daju a cola bottle. Daju, surprised, holds it up and places it near Xiaolu. With a soft smile, he comments that she'll be thrilled to have some cola when she wakes up since it's her favorite drink. As Wang observes Daju, he thinks that while Daju may be simple-minded, his deep care for his sister shows that he has a good heart. Miao breaks the silence by asking Daju if he was a soldier before the world fell into chaos, mentioning that she senses a strong, disciplined aura from him. Daju nods and confirms he was, but explains that he retired after sustaining an injury. Wang glances at the scar on Daju's face and asks if it's from his time in the army. Daju shakes his head and explains it's a mark from fighting wanderers in the North District while serving on an expedition team. He adds that the North District is home to over 1 million wanderers, making it nearly impossible to clear them out completely. Daju shifts the conversation to Jin, mentioning that the man has no shortage of food and plenty to feed his loyal followers. He reveals that Jin's real motive for organizing the expedition teams isn't survival, but greed, as Jin sends them into the North City to search for gold. He notes that Jin, once prominent in real estate, earned the nickname Inestimable for his relentless pursuit of profit. Daju explains that Jin is infamous for his coercive buying and selling tactics, a method he used to amass hundreds of assets even before the apocalypse. Known as a ruthless and black-hearted real estate tycoon, Jin was already notorious long before the world fell apart. On top of his shady dealings, people often gossip about his obsession with gold. He doesn't just collect it, his house is filled with gold furniture, and even his toilet is made of gold. Hearing this, Wang turns to Miao and asks what specific crime Jin committed to end up being caught by the police. Miao shakes her head and replies that Jin's crimes are too numerous to list in one night. She adds that on the day she apprehended him, he had the audacity to try threatening her. At that moment, Miao recalls how Jin once threatened her in prison, boasting that with his power and money, he would be free soon, and then make her feel both pleasure and pain in bed. Hearing this, Wang flies into a rage and steps forward to attack Jin, but Miao stops him. She explains that even after Jin was locked up, he still controlled his forces from afar. When the apocalypse hit, he escaped with other prisoners, took back control of his followers, and kept up his criminal ways. Daju warns Wang that Jin doesn't just have plenty of food, he also has an arsenal, including tanks, so fighting him directly is impossible. Wang asks why, if Jin is so powerful, Daju hasn't joined his team, which would also guarantee his sister's safety. Daju shakes his head and asks if Wang knows what most people in the city eat, aside from Jin and his men. Wang guesses it's probably some kind of meat soup, maybe made from rats. Daju says rat meat would be tolerable, but it's actually worse than that. He explains that to eat here, people need Jin's money, Jin dollars. Every day, many can't afford food because they have no work. Jin takes advantage of this by offering them a deal. Join the expedition team, go on one mission, and they'll get some expired bread from his warehouse as a reward. Daju continues, explaining that the people without skills or training can't possibly fight against the wanderers. At first, he didn't understand why Jin included them in the expedition team. It wasn't until last month, when he was starving and had no choice but to join, that the truth became clear. The only reason these unskilled individuals are brought along is to act as bait, to lure out the monarch wanderers. He explains that monarch wanderers are bloodthirsty and far more dangerous than regular wanderers. When a group of helpless people gathers, the monarch wanderers are naturally drawn to them, allowing the rest of the team to search for gold while the bait takes the brunt of the danger. Seeing Wang and Miao's confused expressions, Daju elaborates. Monarch wanderers are massive, several times larger than normal wanderers. They possess incredible speed and destructive power. Daju shares that, as a former Special Forces soldier, his skills and self-preservation instincts are better than most. But even he felt helpless and furious when he realized he was being used as bait. He recounts his own terrifying experience. Just when he thought he had escaped a monarch wanderer, reality struck hard. The creature caught up to him in an instant. Unlike regular wanderers, monarchs don't just eat their prey, they seem to take pleasure in torturing humans. Daju says the scar on his face was caused by a monarch wanderer. After it scratched him, the creature left. Since then, Jin believes Daju scared the monarch away, which is why he's been eager to have him rejoin the expedition team. Wang asks his system for information about the monarch wanderer, but the system replies that there's currently no data available. It suggests an upgrade might reveal more. Miao then asks Daju what Jin has been feeding the town's residents. Daju grimly explains that those killed by the monarch wanderers aren't wasted. They're brought back to the city, mixed with some wanderer meat, cooked into soup, and given to the people. Wang and Miao are shocked by this. Daju adds that he had hoped that by joining Jin's team, he wouldn't have to eat human meat anymore, but he couldn't bring himself to accept it, and he definitely won't let his sister eat human or wanderer meat. Daju explains that he has been surviving by catching mice in the city or gathering wild vegetables outside, which led to his little sister getting sick. Wang assures him that he shouldn't blame himself, as making choices in such dire circumstances is never easy. Wang then tells Miao he'll take out some rice and asks her to cook rice porridge, so Daju's sister can have something to eat when she wakes up. Daju is astonished that Wang still has rice. Wang replies with a smile, saying he has more than just rice, he has a variety of food. He even pulls out some sugar and hands it to Miao, further surprising Daju. Wang then asks if Daju would help them take down Jin if they can provide clean food for his sister. Daju agrees without hesitation. Wang nods and explains that they first need to handle other matters to ensure there are no distractions. He emphasizes the importance of getting Daju's sister to a safe place, and instructs him to follow a specific route where his companions will be waiting to take care of her. Without wasting time, Daju gently carries his sister on his back and leaves the town. As he approaches the main gate, the guards ask if he's heading out again to gather wild vegetables with his sister. Daju confirms, keeping his expression neutral. Satisfied, the guards open the gate and let him through. Daju walks away, and after some time, he reaches a spot marked by a fast food clown statue. Suddenly, Guan appears and orders him not to move, warning that she will shoot if he does. She looks confused when she sees the girl on his back wearing Wang's clothes. Daju explains that Wang sent him and, showing her the phone, says she'll understand now. Guan reads Wang's message, which says that Guan should follow all instructions for now, first, to bring Daju's sister to the base where their companions are waiting, and then return to town with Daju. After reading, Guan agrees to cooperate. They head together to the place where Chengping and the others are. A girl there takes care of Xiaolu and reassures Daju that his sister is getting better. Daju feels relieved. Meanwhile, when Chengping asks if Daju can be trusted, Guan confirms that Wang's message said Daju is reliable. After that, Guan climbs onto Daju's back, and they head back into town. Guan feels happy to see Wang again. Miao remarks that she didn't expect the defenses here to be so weak. They got in quite easily. Wang says that now Guan is inside, they need to plan how to take on Jin. Daju adds that Jin lives on the top floor of the building, and the armory is also there. The security in that building is the tightest, making it nearly impossible for outsiders to get in. He explains that just like at the entrance, a team of more than 20 people patrols constantly, always watching for intruders. Even if someone manages to get inside, every floor has guarded entrances. Hearing this, Wang says Daju knows the situation so well because he used to be part of the expedition team. He tells Daju to take him along tomorrow so they can join the team together and then figure out how to sneak into the building. Daju warns it won't be easy. Once people join, the team holds them at gunpoint to stop anyone from backing out, and they're taken to the North City. Wang replies that once they're out of the city, they'll find a way to take everyone down. Daju points out that this will be even harder since the expedition team has over a dozen armed mercenaries. Wang then uses his system to hand Daju a bag and asks if they can handle things with these. When Daju looks inside, he's surprised to see many guns. He asks where Wang got them. Wang explains they teamed up in the last city to take down the largest local gang and took these weapons from them. He adds that he has plenty more weapons and plans to distribute them to other expedition team members when they get the chance, so no one is left unarmed. Hearing this, Daju says that with these weapons, they really have a chance to take down Jin. Wang agrees, but reminds him that even with the guns, they need to stay flexible. Then Wang admits he's worried about Guan and Miao, hoping they won't get into trouble. Just then, Guan and Miao appear, having changed their clothes. When Wang and Daju see them, they're both surprised as they're dressed in dancer uniforms. Wang quickly warns that the outfits are too risky and says they need to change immediately. The next day, Wang and Daju join the expedition team. A man named Captain Li stands in front of everyone and announces that from now on, every move will be under his command. He warns that anyone who disobeys or falls behind will be shot without mercy. As the captain talks, he notices a man not paying attention and angrily slaps him. Daju steps in between and tells the captain that many of them don't even have enough to eat, so they can't be as energetic. The captain says he respects Daju, but that doesn't mean he can challenge his authority. Daju steps forward, ready to respond, but Wang quickly stops him. Apologizing to the captain, Wang quietly tells Daju they can't start a fight now. They need to get out of the city first. The captain then asks Wang if he's new here. Wang confirms, and the captain looks puzzled that a newcomer wants to join the expedition team so willingly. The captain notices Wang's bag and asks if he plans to loot items during the mission. When he checks, he's surprised to find it empty. Annoyed, he slaps Wang and warns him not to try stealing. Then he orders his men to move out. As they start moving, Daju asks Wang what happened to all the stuff that was in his bag this morning. Wang just smiles and says it's a secret. Watching from above, Jin asks his assistant Zhang if his and the captain's plan will really work. Zhang assures him it will. He explains that last time they failed because they didn't know it was Monarch Wanderer territory. But this time, the cannon fodder, meaning the expedition team, will lure the Monarch Wanderers away, allowing Captain Lee to move the gold from the vault. Jin feels pleased and says he can finally achieve his long-time dream, a solid gold statue of himself in the city. He also tells Zhang to find new girls for him, as he's bored with the ones he already has in his room. Meanwhile, in the town, everyone is stunned by the beauty of Guan and Miao, who are dressed elegantly. They both head to the man who often offers jobs to the townspeople. Wang and Daju walk through the city, and Wang notices that the farther they go, the more run-down the streets look. Daju explains that it's normal. This area used to be the busiest and most crowded part of the North City. But after the apocalypse hit, many people couldn't escape in time and turned into wanderers. Now no one dares to come here, so the place just keeps getting worse. Daju asks Wang when they'll make their move, but Wang tells him to wait a little longer. As they talk, a man from before suddenly calls out to them from behind, warning them not to do anything stupid. He says trying to escape is impossible, but he won't report them to Captain Lee because Wang and Daju helped him before. He adds that many have tried to run from the expedition team, but this time is different. Jin promised great rewards if they complete the mission. Daju asks if the man means helping Jin find gold, and the man confirms. He says he heard the rumor, and that's why he joined the expedition team. He explains that Jin discovered the central bank in the northern district holds a huge amount of gold. Before the apocalypse, gold was still very valuable, so all the banks stored their gold there for safekeeping. There's an unimaginable amount of gold kept there. But after the apocalypse, people focused more on food and stopped thinking about it. Wang thinks to himself that he needs to get that gold to upgrade his system. As they talk, the captain's men shout for them to move faster. Wang then asks the man where he heard the gold story and if it's trustworthy. The man confirms it is. The man adds that he traded half a loaf of bread he got from joining the expedition team with one of Jin's close aides to get this information. Wang asks what kind of reward Jin is offering and if it's really worth risking his life and trading bread for this intel. He jokes that he doesn't suppose the man wants the gold either. The man confirms he has no use for gold, but says this time, the reward is meat. Wang says that if the intel is true, he'll make sure the man gets his share too. Then Daju asks Wang what they'll do if they run into a monarch wanderer along the way. Wang tells him their priority is to get the gold first, and Daju agrees. Led by Jin's men, the team slowly moves through the northern district. Even though it's daytime, their large formation still attracts several wanderer attacks. To avoid revealing who they really are, Daju and Wang use the crude weapons they were given to fight off the wanderers. The other cannon fodder are terrified and don't even dare to pick up their weapons. Jin's men just stand back, probably worried that gunfire will attract more wanderers. Knowing them, they won't waste bullets unless it's absolutely necessary. After a tough journey, they finally reach the area near the central bank in the northern district. But there are many wanderers nearby, so no one dares to approach the back directly. They can only watch from a distance. The captain then orders Daju and Wang to lead the way to the back, while his men cover them. He says since they are the best fighters, they will get a big reward when they return. When Daju tries to say something, Wang stops him and tells the captain they'll go ahead. The captain then hands out steel plate jackets to everyone for protection. Wang is surprised that they're being treated well. As Wang and Daju prepare, the captain tells Daju he doesn't have to wear the jacket because he needs to stay behind and assist him. Wang senses something is off. Daju hands his jacket back to the captain, telling him he can wear it if he's scared, but makes it clear he will only move alongside Wang. The captain asks Daju if he's sure he wants to disobey his orders. Daju confirms firmly. Wang whispers to Daju that the captain seems sneaky and that he'll handle him later. Meanwhile, at Jin's home, the chubby lady is escorting all the girls, including Miao and Guan, to Jin's room. Quietly, Guan asks Miao if they should try to find the armory since they're inside. Miao shakes her head and says, Wang only told them to find the gold. The chubby lady knocks on Jin's door, and someone inside gives permission to enter. When she looks in, she's shocked to see Zhang sitting there in just his underwear. When she asks why he's there, Zhang says Jin let him pick a girl first before sending the rest to him. The lady gets angry, but Zhang orders his men to escort her out and lets the girls come in. When all the girls enter the room, Zhang is stunned by their beauty. His gaze quickly settles on Guan, and he thinks she's top-tier quality. He orders everyone to leave except Guan. Miao feels worried, thinking their plan might be ruined, and asks if they're not supposed to attend Jin's party. Zhang snaps angrily, saying he wants to experience a first love with Guan and doesn't want to deal with Miao, who looks like a tomboy. Miao gets angry, but Guan reassures her she'll handle the situation and protect herself. Once the others leave, it's just Zhang and Guan in the room. Zhang says they have to get started, but then notices Guan moving closer. She picks up a knife from the table and says they need to play something thrilling. Meanwhile, at the central bank, Wang, Daju, and a few others watch the area. Wang asks Daju if he smells something too. The farther they go, the stronger the stench. He points out that severed limbs lie everywhere, meaning wanderers must be hiding nearby. As they talk, Daju suddenly points out a last door ahead. Wang asks for his help to open it. While they work, the others whisper about reporting to the captain since they've only just found the spot. But another man stops them, saying if they leave now, Daju and Wang will get all the credit. So, everyone pitches in to help open the door. The noise suddenly awakens a powerful presence nearby. Meanwhile, Captain Lee sits in his jeep. One of his men asks if he wants to save Daju's life by trying to stop him from going in. The captain confirms this. The man mentions a rumor that Daju can fend off monarch wanderers, but says he doubts anyone is stronger than the captain himself. He also notes that the other young man seems skilled. The captain replies that the kid is sneaky, but they need a few clever ones inside to lure out the monarch wanderers. The door opens, but behind it stands a large locker door. Daju looks confused, wondering how they can open it. The others feel discouraged too. Then Wang says he has a way. He uses his system ability and pulls a rocket launcher out of his bag. Everyone is shocked and asks where he got it. Wang smiles and says this is just a small part of his stash. He shows them other guns and tells them it's hard to explain now, but his true strength is much greater than they see. He says if they're willing to fight Jin with him, he's confident he can lead them to overthrow Jin's rule. The others say they don't want to take that risk. They just want to help Jin get the gold so they can live comfortably when they return. Wang calls them cowards and tells Daju to explain everything he saw before joining the expedition team. Daju begins to describe the harsh conditions he witnessed. After hearing this, the others start vomiting, realizing they've been working like slaves for Jin all day, and in the end, Jin feeds on humans and wanderers. They grab the guns and prepare to team up with Wang to fight Jin. Wang aims the rocket launcher at the locker door and warns everyone to step back. He says he will blow the door open, but warns that when Captain Lee's men hear the explosion, they'll come rushing in and pick them off one by one. Wang fires, and a huge explosion rocks the door. The loud blast reaches the captain, who is shocked. As the dust settles, Wang sees the door is still shut. He thinks no wonder all the city's gold was stored here after the apocalypse. The security is on another level. Wang tells the men to stay alert since their noise will attract Captain Lee's men soon. Suddenly, Daju points out that Wang's trick is working. The door is slowly starting to open on its own. When the door finally opens, one of the guys tells Wang to go check inside, but Wang warns them to watch what's coming out of the vault first. Suddenly, a wanderer steps out, shocking everyone. Wang raises his weapon, ready to strike with his powerful warrior's attack, but just then, a huge hand grabs the wanderer from behind and drags it back inside. Wang is confused and asks Daju what's going on. Daju recognizes the hand. It belongs to a monarch wanderer. Wang thought monarch wanderers were just faster, stronger wanderers, but now he realizes they're complete monsters. He also remembers Daju saying that monarch wanderers don't eat people, which means the first wanderer wasn't attacking them, it was trying to escape. Daju says it looks like they'll have to fight the monarch wanderer on their own. But when he looks for Wang, he's gone, running away and telling Daju to escape too. Outside, the captain orders his men not to let anyone escape from inside until the monarch wanderer is captured. Everyone agrees. As Wang and the others near the entrance, Wang suddenly looks back and sees the monarch wanderer closing in. He's shocked by how much bigger and faster the monster is. Wang knows the guards at the door won't let them pass easily, but since the monster is chasing them here, they might have a chance if they fight. Wang stops and activates his mighty warrior's palm. He leaps toward the monster, shouting that he'll kill anyone who stands between him and the gold. But as he gets close, the monster swings its huge hand and slashes Wang across the chest. Seeing this, Daju steps forward to help Wang, but the monster throws him aside and keeps moving forward. Meanwhile, as the others try to escape, Captain Lee and his men fire shots at the ground and order them to stop immediately. Lai warns that if anyone takes another step, he will shoot them dead. The group tries to explain there's no time. They have to retreat because the monarch wanderer is chasing them. But Lee refuses to listen and asks why they're holding guns. Realizing they all have guns, the group starts shooting at Lee and his men, forcing them to take cover. One of Lee's men suggests using Molotov cocktails to finish them off, but Lee refuses, saying if they use the Molotovs now, they won't have any left for the monarch wanderers. At this moment, the others realize Wang and Daju are still inside. Suddenly, the monarch wanderer steps out of the building. One of the men wonders if the monster has already killed them. Lai watches and thinks the monster is finally out. He decides to let this group of cannon fodder keep distracting the beast. The men raise their guns and start shooting, but to their shock, the bullets have no effect. The monster leaps at them and kills several men instantly. Terrified, the rest scatter and run for their lives. At this moment, a guy from Lee's team throws a bottle bomb at one of the men wearing a safety jacket. The man is instantly covered in flames as the bomb explodes, and the blast even shakes the nearby monster. Lee quickly orders his men to throw more bombs at everyone wearing those jackets. Meanwhile, Wang lies inside the building, completely stunned. The system tries to wake him up, When Wang opens his eyes, he asks the system why it didn't give him a cheat since he was about to die. The system replies that it doesn't have any cheat functions. Wang then notices Dazhu is injured. When he asks about him, the system says Dazhu is just unconscious. It also warns Wang to pay attention to his own wound because he is bleeding badly and could die if he doesn't act. Wang touches his wound and smells it, realizing the jacket is filled with gunpowder. Feeling uneasy, he pulls a lighter from his pocket. The system asks if he's planning to end his own life, but Wang denies it. He remembers giving a pack of cigarettes to Cheng Ping, who in return gave him this lighter. Wang thinks to himself that the lighter is more than just a lighter. It's his lucky charm now, and he hopes it brings him good luck too. Remembering this, Wang takes off his jacket and lifts his shirt slightly. He holds the lighter flame to his wound, screaming out in pain as the fire burns. After that, he walks into the locker room and sees two wanderers sitting quietly in the corner. Wang thinks about how tough their lives must be. Even as wanderers, they're still being treated like food by the monarch wanderer. Then Wang notices a pile of gold and asks the system how much it is. The system tells him there's a total of 60,326 kilograms of gold, and that upgrading the system costs 50,000 kilograms. Wang tells the system to upgrade right away. He can't afford to lose to the monarch wanderer. The system upgrades, expanding the shop area to 150 square meters and unlocking the beginner shop feature. When Wang opens the beginner shop, he sees only question marks and angrily asks the system if this is all the upgrade did. The system explains that every time he levels up, he will unlock 4 new shop items. Wang is still frustrated. He hates having to level up just to get more items. Wang bends over in pain, and the system tells him not to be discouraged. There's a surprise waiting for him at the end of the shop list. When Wang checks, he feels frustrated that each lottery costs 100 kilograms of gold. He looks at the items he can buy. First, an ammo pack. Second, a divine seed that helps with recovery. Third, a beginner experience pack. And fourth, a random attribute book. Wang thinks the divine seeds are the most important for his health. He also considers buying the experience packs to improve his mighty warrior's palm skill, which would help him fight the monarch wanderer. But right now, even getting close to that fight seems impossible. Suddenly he remembers he has a skill called Reed Crossing the River, and realizes he can buy items to boost that skill's experience too. Wang tells the system he wants to buy all the divine seeds and experience packs. After buying them, he eats one divine seed. Immediately, a green light surrounds his body, surprising the two wanderers watching him. Meanwhile, the monarch wanderer is killing Li's men one by one. Li watches and comments on how quickly the monster has wiped out his team. Determined, he says today he will take the monster down to prove himself. Since guns and explosives don't work on the beast, Li decides to fight hand to hand. He throws his gun aside and pulls out a saw. When the monster throws a dead human body at him, Li easily cuts it in half. As the monster prepares to punch him, Li suddenly slashes the monster's hand and dodges the attack. But the monster quickly counters with a powerful punch to Li's face, sending him stumbling backward. Just as the monster moves in for another attack, Dazhu arrives and grabs the monster's arm with chains. Li looks at Dazhu and asks if he still wants to save him. Dazhu refuses, saying that after they defeat the monarch wanderer, only he and Li will face each other. Li nods in agreement. Together, they focus on defeating the monster first, and Li leaps forward to attack. Meanwhile, the man with Wang lies on the ground but still wants to reach the vault. He thinks sadly that ever since the apocalypse, he's been living like neither a human nor a ghost. This rare chance to change everything, he has to make it count. He reflects on his life and realizes he hasn't really accomplished anything. After graduating, he used drawing comics as an excuse to stay at home, spending his days playing video games and gossiping, wasting time until he became a 40-year-old parasite. He thought his life would stay like that forever. But then the apocalypse happened. When he asked his dad for money, his father suddenly attacked him. Just in time, his mother stepped in, blocking the attack. She told him to run and take care of his life. As he's lost in thought, Wang suddenly appears in front of the man. The man's face lights up, relieved to see Wang alive. He asks if there really is a vault Jin wants. If not, he says, he would have wasted his chance for nothing. Wang confirms there's over 60,000 kilograms of gold inside. The man feels a surge of hope and says he's finally accomplished something. He lets go of Wang's hand and walks away, leaving his old life behind. Watching him leave, Wang thinks about how, even now, the man still cares about helping Jin find gold, just for the scraps he gave up. Wang admits he never even knew the man's name. When survival is uncertain, dignity and ambition seem like jokes. He silently vows that he will take down Jin. Meanwhile, the monster keeps beating Dazhu. As it raises its hand to strike again, Li slashes the monster's arm. The monster reacts with a powerful punch to Li's stomach, knocking him back. Just as the monster prepares to attack again, Dazhu leaps forward with an iron rod and drives it deep into the monster's arm. The monster screams in pain, but it doesn't stop the monster. In response, the monster grabs Dazhu with its other massive hand, and Dazhu loses consciousness again. At that moment, Wang arrives with incredible speed. He leaps at the monster, activates his mighty warrior's palm skill, and lands a powerful strike. The monster crashes to the ground, leaving a huge handprint etched into the earth. Wang quickly grabs Dazhu and flies away to safety. Setting him down, Wang asks how he's doing. Dazhu says he doesn't think he'll survive this and tells Wang to take care of his sister. Wang gives him a divine seed. Almost instantly, Dazhu feels fully healed. He says after eating the candy, he's no longer out of breath, his legs don't hurt, and even his wounds have disappeared. Wang tells him to stay put while he deals with the monster. Dazhu offers to help, but Wang refuses. He jumps off the rooftops and heads toward the monster. From behind, Dazhu watches, surprised by Wang's skill. Meanwhile, the monster stretches its body. Wang arrives and says that the last time, he almost spilled my guts, but this time, he will give you a taste of your own medicine. Wang asks his system if it has any information on the Monarch Wanderer now that it's upgraded. The system apologizes, saying that although it has improved, its level is still too low to access the Monarch Wanderer's details. Wang then orders the system to show his current stats and damage values. The system reports that the reed crossing the river skill is maxed out. Agility has increased to 153, and both Strength and Mighty Warrior's Palm have gone up by 6 points. It also says the reed crossing the river ability now requires a 15-point boost to Vitality, and Wang's damage is at 202 points. Looking over the stats, Wang realizes he can only use the reed crossing the river skill for 30 seconds, meaning he must defeat the monster within that time. The system adds that since Wang already used some of the skill earlier, he only has 330 inner strength points left, giving him about 20 seconds to finish the fight. The system starts counting down from 20. As the monster lunges to attack, Wang quickly dodges and leaps behind it. He delivers a powerful Mighty Warrior's Palm strike, causing the monster's bones to crack. Wang circles the monster, waiting for a chance. When the moment comes, he strikes the monster's face with another powerful palm blow. Blood spills from the monster's mouth, and Wang thinks he's hit a weak spot. But suddenly, the monster strikes back, hitting Wang hard and knocking him into a car. Wang feels like all his bones are broken. The system urges him to quickly eat a divine seed to restore his stamina. Wang agrees and eats the seed. His health improves immediately. He asks the system how much inner strength he has left. The system replies that he has 150 vitality points remaining. Wang realizes he has less than 10 seconds left to finish the fight. He knows the monster's skin is thick and tough, but its head looks more vulnerable. To attack the head, Wang understands he needs to find a way to restrain the monster first. Wang lifts a car with the power of his Mighty Warrior's Palm and hurls it at the monster. However, the monster simply deflects it with ease, tossing the car aside. As the monster prepares to punch, Wang seizes a nearby chain and quickly wraps it around the creature's arm. The system alerts Wang that the reed crossing the river skill has reactivated, and the countdown begins. Wasting no time, Wang moves at incredible speed, circling the monster and using the chain to bind it tightly. Once the monster is immobilized, Wang leaps onto its head. Despite being restrained, the monster roars furiously, thrashing and struggling against its bindings. Wang knows everything hinges on his next move. With determination, he activates the Mighty Warrior's Palm again and delivers a devastating strike to the monster's head. As the blow lands, the system announces that the skill's time limit has expired, and Wang's inner strength is completely depleted. But before he can despair, Wang notices green blood oozing from the monster's head. The creature lets out a final guttural roar before collapsing. It's over as the monster is defeated. At that moment, Dazhu rushes over and sees Wang sitting on the ground, clutching his eyes in pain. Some of the monster's green blood has splashed into them, causing sharp discomfort. Confused, Dazhu looks around and then notices the dead Monarch Wanderer nearby. Just then, Li arrives and tells Dazhu that this kid, Wang, killed the monster. He asks who Wang is, amazed that he threw cars with one hand and moved so fast. But Li also warns that Wang's eyes got splashed with the Monarch Wanderer's brain blood, so he might be infected with the virus. Dazhu grows worried and says he will take Wang to get treated right away. Suddenly, Wang screams in pain. His system alerts him that his physiological system is being invaded. Then it notifies him that he has triggered a hidden quest called Monarch Wanderer and asks if he wants to accept or decline it. Wang tries to process the situation, feeling as though he has never encountered anything like this before, not even in a game. The system presents him with two options. If he rejects the quest, he will receive an A-type serum that will fully heal him and restore his humanity. However, if he accepts the quest, he will receive a B-type serum, transforming him into a hybrid, half-human and half-wanderer. The system explains that accepting the quest will activate the dormant virus within him, enhancing his physical abilities significantly, but at the cost of potential side effects. The quest requires Wang to hunt down all the Monarch Wanderers in the world. The stronger the Monarch Wanderers he kills, the more experience points and rewards he will gain. By accepting, Wang will acquire Wanderer-specific skills, but his attribute panel will also include a new Rage value. This Rage will allow him to use the Wanderer's abilities, but as his level increases, so will his desire, potentially making him harder to control. The system urges Wang to decide quickly, as time is running out. Wang feels conflicted. Becoming a monster terrifies him, yet he knows that if he doesn't grow stronger, the next time they face creatures like the Monarch Wanderer, the outcome could be disastrous. With no time to hesitate, Wang weighs the cost of his humanity against the necessity of survival. Wang thinks about the safety of his companions and their reliance on him. The system then informs him that completing the quest will reward him with an A-type serum, giving him the option to restore his humanity later. Reassured by this, Wang decides to accept the quest, determined to protect those he cares about and hold on to the hope of becoming human again. The moment he accepts, a strange transformation begins. Wang's body convulses, and Li exclaims in alarm, shouting that Wang is turning into a zombie. Daju rushes to Wang's side, urging him to remember that Miao and Guan are waiting for him to return. As Wang's transformation intensifies, more wanderers emerge from the shadows, drawn by the commotion. Li orders Daju to run, warning that staying will only get them killed. However, Daju refuses, insisting he won't abandon Wang after all he has done for him. Frustrated, Li threatens to shoot Daju if he doesn't flee, but Daju stands firm, declaring that he would rather be shot than betray the one who saved his life. As tensions escalate, Wang suddenly speaks, his voice steady but changed. He praises Daju for his unwavering loyalty, bringing a wave of relief and joy to Daju, who exclaims happily that Wang is back. Wang assures them both that he's fine now, having regained control. The system chimes in, congratulating Wang on unlocking a new mode and enhancing his attributes. Wang, focused and ready, commands the system to display his newly unlocked Wanderer skills, prepared to face whatever comes next. The system displays all of Wang's new skills and explains that Wanderer skills can't be leveled up with experience books. He has to defeat Monarch Wanderers to grow stronger. Just then, Li points his gun at Wang and orders both Wang and Daju to leave immediately. More Wanderers close in, surrounding them. Daju looks confused, wondering why the Wanderers aren't attacking but just standing still. Wang calmly explains that since he just killed their leader, the Monarch Wanderer, they're afraid of him now. In their eyes, Wang has become the new Monarch Wanderer. Daju tells Wang to snap out of it, thinking he must be joking. But Wang insists he's serious. To prove it, he activates his Wanderer brain signal skill, and the surrounding Wanderers step closer to him. Daju prepares to fight, but Wang simply orders the Wanderers to kneel before him. Without hesitation, they obey. Then Wang commands them to remove their vests and spread the gunpowder on themselves and on the fallen Monarch Wanderer's body. Two Wanderers start carrying out the orders, leaving Daju stunned. Meanwhile, Li feels uneasy seeing that Wang has killed the Monarch Wanderer and now controls the other Wanderers. Wang shifts the conversation and tells Li that he and his team are worse than the Monarch Wanderer. They treat people like slaves and cannon fodder, using them as nothing more than food. That makes them even more disgusting. Angry, Li fires his gun at Wang, but the bullet has no effect. It simply falls away after touching Wang's skin. The virus inside Wang immediately hardens his skin the moment the bullet makes contact, protecting him completely. Seeing this, Li says Wang has become just like the Monarch Wanderer. As Li tries to kill himself out of despair, Wang suddenly strikes him, grabs the gun from his hand, and says he won't let Li die so easily. Wang tells him that after he's dealt with the others, he'll make Li experience the pain and hopelessness they all suffered. The two Wanderers carefully spread the gunpowder over the Monarch Wanderer's body. Wang sets it ablaze, flames consuming the massive creature. Watching this, Daju remarks that he understands why Wang wants to burn the bodies, to stop other Wanderers from consuming them, but asks why Wang is also destroying the Monarch Wanderer's remains. Wang explains that he has two reasons. First, if other Wanderers eat the body, they will grow stronger. Second, Wang now has the ability to access the Monarch Wanderer's memories, and through those memories, he felt the creature's despair. He reveals that the Monarch Wanderer was once a human, a pitiable man who used to be the boxing champion of the city, a victor of many gold belts. He had a loving family, a life filled with triumphs, but everything was destroyed when the apocalypse arrived. One fateful day, when he returned home with food, he was horrified to find Wanderers devouring his family. Hearing the story, Daju's eyes fill with tears. The tragic tale reminds him of his own parents, and he comments with a trembling voice that if not for his sister, he might have become a Monarch Wanderer himself. As they share this somber moment, Li's voice breaks through, calling out to them and pleading to be taken along. Wang and Daju, however, pay him no attention and continue on their way. Left behind, Li is set upon by the two ordinary Wanderers, who attack and kill him without hesitation. Meanwhile, Wang and Daju climb into the jeep. As the vehicle roars to life, Wang remarks that they are heading back to the city to stick to the plan and check on Guan and Miao's progress. Elsewhere, at Jin's palace, a man escorts a group of women inside, including Miao. When she enters, her eyes land on a lavishly decorated hall, adorned for what appears to be a celebration. At the center of it all is Jin, reveling in the company of several women. One of the girls lounging beside him leans in and whispers, urging him to notice the arrival of the new girls and suggesting that he go entertain them. Jin approaches the group of girls, who greet him eagerly, each trying to catch his attention and asking him to choose them. Jin, unimpressed by their attempts, comments that he prefers someone more natural. He then tells them to jump, announcing that whoever jumps the highest will win and get to stay with him for a month with free food and drinks, to which all the girls immediately start jumping. Meanwhile, Meow watches with a mix of frustration and determination, silently vowing to make him pay for his antics when the time comes. Outside, Guan waits with Zhang, whom she has tied up. She surveys the guards nearby and scolds Zhang for bringing her to a heavily guarded area instead of taking her directly to the armory, as she had instructed. Zhang explains that there is a hidden back entrance he knows about and offers to lead her through it. Once inside the armory, Guan notices the crates are filled with firearms. Her excitement grows as Zhang informs her that these weapons are nothing compared to the advanced arsenal kept in another location. Overjoyed, Guan orders him to take her there. However, Zhang hesitates and tells her that the place is highly classified. If she wants to see it, he insists, she'll have to give him a kiss afterward. Hearing Zhang's demand, Guan replies firmly that she will only kiss Wang, no one else. Zhang grins and says if she wants to kill him, he's ready. Dying under peony petals is still romantic. Seeing his boldness, Guan agrees to his condition. She will kiss him after he takes her to the secret place. Meanwhile, Wang and Daju arrive at the town's main gate and order the guards to open it since they have returned. But a voice comes over a loudspeaker, asking why only 2 have come back and where the rest of the expedition team is. Wang explains that they encountered a monarch wanderer in the North District, and Captain Li and the others sacrificed themselves to let the 2 escort the gold safely back. The voice demands proof and threatens to deny them entry unless Wang explains clearly. Wang pulls back the cloth covering their jeep and shows several gold bars. He tells the guards that if they don't believe the story, they can at least believe the gold they brought. After seeing the gold, the voice finally allows them in. Back with the girls, Jin holds up a watch and tosses it into the pool. He announces that whoever finds it will get an extra month's worth of food. The girls eagerly dive in to search, but Meow watches skeptically, thinking this short guy must have more tricks up his sleeve. Just then, a woman approaches Meow from behind and introduces herself as Wei, Jin's closest attendant. Meow turns to her, curious, and asks what she wants. Wei smiles and explains that she has noticed Meow since her arrival. Unlike the other flashy girls, Meow stands out as someone reliable. Wei adds that she needs an ally to help keep Jin under their control. She emphasizes that with Jin's support, they won't have to live in constant fear in this post-apocalyptic world, and Meow could enjoy good food and a comfortable life. Wei leans in closer and asks if Meow wants to join her as an ally. Meow, flustered but pleased, eagerly agrees. She says she would love to be a strong supporter and promises to follow Wei's lead. Wei grins and suggests they celebrate by drinking together, declaring that from now on, they'll be the closest of friends. Meanwhile, Wang and Daju stand with a stout woman near the gate. Wang reminds her that they risked their lives to bring back the gold and asks if Jin will reward them. Instead of answering, the woman gestures to the guards, who suddenly raise their guns, aiming at Wang and Daju. Shocked, Wang demands to know if they're trying to steal the credit for the gold. The woman cuts him off sharply, accusing him of pretending. She coldly states that Jin already knows his true identity. The woman smirks and reveals that Jin recognized Wang and Meow from the moment they first entered the city. She adds that Jin immediately identified Meow as the same girl who once arrested him. Wang is stunned by this revelation, and the woman presses him further, accusing him of coming to the city to target Jin and cause trouble. Before Wang can respond, a bodyguard strikes him on the head with the butt of a rifle, knocking him unconscious. When he regains consciousness, he finds himself in a dimly lit secret location. As he sits in the corner, groggy and disoriented, he starts to worry about Guan and Meow. He realizes with growing concern that Meow is still unaware Jin has already recognized her, making the situation even more precarious. The bodyguards, now standing at a distance, exchange glances and mutter that Wei will handle the matter from here. With that, they step back, leaving Wang to ponder his next move. 2 men wearing jackets enter the room and drag Wang inside. They sit him on a chair and bind his hands and feet tightly. Although Wang is awake, he pretends to be unconscious, trying to figure out why they've tied him up. Moments later, Jin steps into the room, holding a thick rope in his hands. With a grin, he announces that the real game is about to begin. Jin explains that back when he was in business, he often faced situations like this, dealing with naive little thieves who thought they could outsmart him. He sneers, adding that just because he's fat, people assume he's clueless like a pig and won't notice their schemes. With a sharp flick, Jin lashes the rope across Wang's chest, leaving a deep welt and causing Wang to cry out in pain. Gritting his teeth, Wang asks Jin why, if he already knows their intentions, he hasn't simply killed him. He offers to cooperate, but Jin bursts into laughter. Wang presses further, questioning why he's tied up when he's already returned the gold Jin wanted. Jin smirks and says it's been far too long since he's had this much excitement. He relishes the idea of someone daring to challenge him and declares that he plans to enjoy every moment of this game. He then orders the lights to be turned on. The room brightens, and Wang's eyes widen in shock. In the corner, Meow is tied up and unconscious, her head slumped forward. Wang's heart sinks as he realizes the situation has become far more dire than he imagined. At that moment, the other girls step forward, revealing themselves. Wang quickly orders them not to hurt Miao and tells them to take good care of her, but not to break her. Jin smirks and replies that he plans to do just the opposite, while Wang watches his beloved woman being toyed with. The words hit Wang like a shock, leaving him stunned. Meanwhile, some bodyguards are dragging Dazu away. He feels guilty that Wang's plan has completely fallen apart. Knowing Jin's ruthless nature, Dazu is certain Wang won't let them die easily. He will make them suffer. Confused about why 4 guards are escorting him and what their intentions are, Dazu can only worry about his little sister. As he's lost in these thoughts, the wall suddenly bursts open. A tank crashes through and Zhang, tied to its side, is shouting for help. Seeing the chaos, the men start running back, leaving Zhang behind. Zhang shouts, asking why they're abandoning him. Suddenly Dazu hears Guan's voice. Guan emerges from the tank and asks where Wang is. Dazu quickly explains that they were tricked. Wang was captured by Jin, and now they have to go rescue him. Meanwhile, the girls prepare to give Miao an injection. Wang urgently orders them not to do it without his permission, and insists they come to him if there's a problem. He thinks about how he used all his inner strength fighting the Monarch Wanderer, and now can't even use his mighty warrior's palm to break free. Jin steps forward and ties Wang's mouth shut, warning him to focus on his own situation. He explains that before the apocalypse, even with plenty of money, he never pushed things too far, just enough for the thrill. But now, in this post-apocalyptic world, he can toy with others however he wants, and he loves it. Jin boasts that Wang is his 18th male captive and promises to take good care of him in the coming days. Then Jin bites Wang's ear. Furious, Wang mentally vows to make Jin pay. At the same time, Wei injects Miao in the neck, and another girl watches Miao's face, remarking how quickly the drug is working. The girls start touching Miao, making her feel embarrassed. She calls out to Wang for help. Meanwhile, Jin feels frustrated that he can't even bite Wang's ear properly. Wang asks his system if he can still activate any Wanderer skills despite his strength being at 0. The system replies that his rage value dropped to 1 as his anger calms, but even though his rage has risen, it's being drained continuously because he's under attack, and a protective virus is shielding him. The system encourages him to stay positive, reminding him that every time Jin attacks, Wang's skills get stronger. As Wang focuses on this, Jin suddenly lashes the rope across his shoulder. Wang screams in pain, thinking that even though his passive skill hardens his skin to reduce damage, the pain still feels just as intense.